The Masters Superbike Championship is brought to you by Principal Insurance, part of Howden. For motorbike, car, van and home insurance, Principal Insurance have you covered. Get a quote today.
You're all very welcome here to Mondello Park for rounds 10, 11 and 12 of the Principal Insurance Masters Championship Series. As you can see, we got our live stream up and running, and currently we have just a final warm-up session of this morning ahead of racing. We're just watching our Superbike and Supersport Pro riders complete their final warm-up session, and then we jump straight into the Megabikes Ballymount Production Twins and Super Twins race. And from the fastest lap of that race, which promotes him to pole position for this 7-lap race. As you can see from our live stream, that pit lane remains closed until we have the circuit readied for our live action. You can see turn 1 looking absolutely impeccable. Circuit in great shape, it has to be said. Conditions absolutely perfect for our 14 scheduled races this afternoon and this morning. We will have 6 races prior to our lunch break, and then 8 races in the afternoon. Some races going from 5 laps, and our main events going as far as 8 laps. Of course, the extension to the international track drags the lap times out from sub-minutes to sub-2 minutes, and we will be treated to see some of these fantastic images for the duration of the 14 races today. Yesterday we combined some of the Moto 400 pre-classic Superbike classics and pre-injection 600s 1000 combined, but today they have their individual race, so you will see the Moto 400s back on the circuit on their own, having their own track time. And a good feed from Southside Motor Factors back down into the paddock. It's just race control confirming that Super Twins and Production Twins are being called to pit lane, so we can open the circuit for 1 sighting lap, 1 warm-up lap, and then 7 laps in this Ballymount Megabikes Production and Super Twins race. Looking good, our grid staff getting our bits in order. We see Des Butler and Mark Carey already anxious to get going. Not quite sure who that number 40 is. And there goes pit lane open. Young Mark Carey there first into turn 1, followed by Des Butler on the SV650. Mark is trying out the R7 Yamaha, which is starting to become more prominent in Super Twin racing, which was previously dominated by the ER6 Kawasaki and the SV650, but now of course the introduction of the RS660 Aprilia, practically 100 horsepower reliably out of the shop window. So it's good to see the R7 catching on. Actually, Jacob Stevenson has, interestingly enough, The Yamaha R7 that Josh Brooks ran at the TT was fastest through the speed traps in Sulby, and he has it here in Mondello Park. It's actually for sale at the moment, so if you're looking for a top spec purpose-built R7 in full race trim, Jacob Stevenson is set up here in the Yamaha awnings just at the bottom of the control tower here. So keep an eye out for that R7 if you're in the market. And here we have good footage of turn 7A and 7B. This is just one part of the circuit that we never really get much exposure to, either for viewing or for action, so it's really good that we have some footage of this part of the circuit, which we'll dial into later on. And now we can see Brands Bends, again another addition to our program today with the international circuit. And this corner is Nordic Spirit, and now we're back onto the more familiar territory of Southside Motor Factors into turn 1, or final bend, Southside Motor Factors, as our riders complete their sighting lap. Pit lane still open, all sectors green. We see Oshin Maher joined the fray, so he's going to get his sighting lap under his belt. A runaway victory yesterday, but he's not going to have it all his own way this morning, that's for sure, with Jacob Stevenson arriving late to the party, battling from the back row. I think it was second position he finished in yesterday, but a superior lap time will put him on pole position. We'll pull up those grids for you when the sighting laps are complete and our warm-up laps are underway. So with the addition of the international circuit, we dropped from 2 sighting laps and 2 warm-up laps to 1 sighting lap and 1 warm-up lap. So many riders have their sighting lap completed. So once we get the last of the twins and production twins riders back onto the start finish, we'll line them up in their correct grid positions and then have our dummy grids form before they pull up their sighting lap. Conditions absolutely perfect. Not quite sure whether lap records could be in danger today because our exposure to the international circuit is quite limited. So by the time the riders got dialed in yesterday and got their qualifying complete, they were really on a par with 2022 times, but some of these lap records have been standing for quite a while. You never know. Some of the existing lap records are quite fresh, so we would wonder, perhaps in the second outing of the day, if their tyres hold together and the weather stays as it is, which it is supposed to do, we'll keep an eye on those lap times as they drop. Thanks to, of course, Paul Grogan from Timey.ie, who has kept us current with our up-to-date international lap records. Incidentally, the Superbike lap record is held by Josh Elliott. That's a 1 minute 40 flat. The Supersport international lap record goes back 14 years to 2010 when Glenn Irwin set his time of a 1:41 on a CBR 600R. Incidentally, Glenn always checks results at the end of the weekend just to make sure that his record still stands. So he's pretty busy out in Misano, the World Ducati week at the moment, so he may not get to check in this evening. If his lap record is shattered, we'll probably drop him a message just to say he is no longer king of the ring. So just keeping our eye on our twins grid being formed. This is their second race of the weekend. Race 1 on your program for Sunday. And once they get out of earshot towards turn 3, we will have our grids on the screen for you. But for the moment, we just watch this footage at the end of pit lane and Southside Motor Factors. Riders flagged away, complete their warm-up lap, get some heat dialed into those brake discs and tyres. So with that, we will pull up our grid and run you through the start positions. So on pole position from yesterday's brilliant performance is Jacob Stevenson on pole number 67. Oisin Maher on the Aprilia RS660 is in P2. And Robert O'Connell 189 also on an Aprilia RS660 completes row 1. Row 2 is Mark McGowan on a production twin. Jeff Quilter also on a production twin. Number 711 is 5th. Keelan Smith, number 52, also on an Aprilia RS660, completes row 2. Row 3 is Michael Sheeran, Adam Carey, 272, R7 mount also. Michael Dunleavy, number 965, completes row 3. Michael Murphy, Des Butler and Thomas McGilligan are row 4. Mark Carey, Adam Reardon, Shane Doran complete row 5. Row 6 is David Broderick, Gavin Buckley. Will Roberts is in omission. I think he was competing in Armoy yesterday. So on row 7, you will have the solitary figure of Corey McDonnell. And that is your starting grid for the Super Twins. Megabikes Super Twins and Production Twins Race 2, getting the last of the heat into their tyres and brake rotors. So you can see that blue R7 of Jacob Stevenson on pole position. He found his feet quite quickly on this international circuit, but he's going to have to contend with the unwanted attention of Oisin Maher, who sits on his left shoulder, number 5. So it's R7 versus Aprilia, as we see Mark McGowan, number 157, in the background, eager to pounce from any errors made from the getaway of the riders on row 1. Mark is from County Meath on a Aprilia RS and a Suzuki SV, so all eyes on the lights. And they are away. Great start from Jacob Stevenson. And it looks as though he has not gotten the advantage into turn 1. That will go to Oisin Maher, who leads out of turn 1 and has the advantage into turn 2. As they stream outside into turn 3, Jacob Stevenson retakes second position. But it's Oisin Maher who leads into turn 3. Up the riders as they drop into turn 4. Of course, different line through turn 4 today. You don't need to flip it into the S's, into Southside Motor Factors. They can get the extra drive to take them out to Lola Corner, this right-hander. So it is still Oisin Maher who's first into Lola. And once they come out of Lola Corner, they'll pick it up once more. We see Jeff Quilter in the background. This left-hander out of the exit of Lola Bend, dropping down into 7A and 7B. So it's a sweeping right-hander with one single apex, but two corners, 7A and 7B. And now we're into Baran Bends. All the riders once around Baran Bends, back into Devaney's. And the more familiar territory, Nordic Spirit, last left-hander, into the more familiar territory of the braking zone that is into Southside Motor Factors. And that is your first lap of the Megabikes Super Twins and Production Twins completed. So we would expect Oisin Maher to post the fastest lap after lap 1, which he does indeed with a 1:51.5, but only a gap of 1 second back to Jacob Stevenson. Mark McGowan in third from Robert McConnell, Jeff Quilter, Michael Sheeran in sixth. And you can see these beautiful blue skies in the background. We expect no different for the rest of the day, as Oisin Maher drops back in from turn 3 into turn 4. Again, taking the wider line to get the greater drive out, to build up the momentum for the spin out to the countryside of Lola Corner on the right hand side, on the right hand corner bend. It's Des Butler there on the yellow SV650. And we are watching, I think that's Robert O'Connell and Jeff Quilter having a bash at each other. Kerry versus Cork. And that will be Mark McGowran in the 4 of those trio of, I think they're all production twins, except for Robert O'Connell, who is on an RS660 Aprilia. But for the moment, it's Mark McGowran that leads that pack. Oisin Maher and Jacob Stevenson still first and second. But the battle here for the final podium position is being lined up, as we see Oisin buzz the tower for his first flying lap. That could be the fastest lap for him as well in this race, and it is indeed 1:47 flat, and an identical time for Jacob Stevenson, but just that 1 second gap between both riders. Similar spec machinery, but R7 versus Aprilia at the moment. Completing turn 3, Jacob Stevenson neat and tidy into turn 4. We'll have Oisin in his sights. Still 5 laps to go, a long way in this 7-lap race. 3.5 kilometers of Mondello's finest to contend with. So no need for PJ Jacobson, or for Jacob Stevenson to no need for Jacob Stevenson to panic just yet. Plenty of time. You see yellow flags being held at turn 1, so no overtaking in that area. And see exactly who has ran into the... So we have a red flag. This race is going to be stopped temporarily until we get the circuit cleaned up and get the bikes off the circuit. And a few messages from race control that transponder's not working for number 272 Adam Carey and 103 David Broderick. So if you could get your transponders refixed or recharged one way or the other, we will be able to pick you up on the timing towers. So just 2 bikes to be collected here. That's Shane Doran's SV lying on its side, but thankfully both riders up and okay. So our riders will probably come back down into pit lane. We'll probably hold them for a few moments until we deal with this red flag incident, and we will probably have a restart for maybe 1 and 4 laps. So let's see what race control come up with once this incident has been dealt with and the marshals give the track any maintenance that it needs. For now, we'll enjoy the picturesque views of looking down from Southside Motor Factors into the paddock. You can see that tight hairpin that the riders come back to rejoin once they come back from the international circuit, and they dive on the brakes back into Southside Motor Factors to get on the start finish. So as it stood, Oisin Maher was leading that race 1.1 seconds from Jacob Stevenson, number 67 on the R7. Mark McGowran Robert O'Connell and Jeff Quilter were in a battle for the final podium position, but that was a battle between production twins and super twins. So there was a lot going on in that race between the two categories of super twins and production twins. Fantastic entries to short circuit racing. Good manageable, reliable machines, cheap to run, cheap tyre bill. Reliable power in the production twins. Mainly the SVs and ER6s still, but RS660s and now the R7s starting to creep in and dominate proceedings. But, very few performance parts available for the R7s and RS660s unless you're willing to pay. And that's good to see riders up and moving about. Ray Quinn there giving his best service. Good to see you, Ray. Might catch up at lunchtime. And giving it circuit a bit of a sweep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. And thankfully there are no liquids down. It's just simply a case of giving kitty litter back into the gravel trap. And we should be underway again any moment. Oisin Maher leads the Megabikes Twins, Super Twins Championship at the moment. His nearest competitor is Sean Brawley. Sean not here this weekend. He was competing in the Armagh road races. So that might give the opportunity to third place in the championship, Keelan Smith, to capitalise on Sean's no-show this weekend. See if he can build up some of that points advantage. Currently the gap between Keelan and Sean yesterday was 26 points. With the points then that Keelan picked up yesterday, that will obviously eat into that as well. Oisin Maher has a gap of 42, 25, 67 points, so he is in command of the Super Twins table. Good battle between Mark McGarren and Jeff Quilter in the Production Twins Championship. Mark McGarren has an advantage of 11 points as of yesterday. We haven't had our points table updated since yesterday's result, so I'm not quite sure what way that leaves it. But with a points margin of only plus 11 yesterday, it's still all to play for. Both riders took their drop for the championship already, so it's going to be every championship battle and race for the remainder of rounds 10, 11, 12, as well as next month in September's. They're going to count for points. And we just see on our timing screen here that we will have a 4-lap restart. So 1 warm-up lap and 4 laps. So riders probably won't need to top up their fuel loads for the remainder of this 4-lap race. Thanks, race control. So just confirmation that we will have 1 warm-up lap and 4 competitive laps. And we will be underway any moment. We get our response vehicles back into place. Thanks, race control. So our grid will look very much as it did prior to the start of this restarted race. So our production twin and super twin riders are getting back on pit lane. We're almost ready to restart and get underway. Sponsored by Megabikes, of course, who also this weekend are sponsors of our big screen that is set up in between turn 1 and turn 2, where you will be able to get the finest coverage from the comfort of your seats from here on till the rest of the day, covering all the races. So that's a welcome addition. So if you're perched in the grandstand, you won't be just looking out into turn 1 and turn 2. You will see that footage of the remainder of the circuit. Quick visit from coordinator Fergus Brennan, who will be doing our presentation. Of course, podiums very much part of our Sunday features. Good to see our riders, especially the younger ones, getting rewarded on the podiums for their hard work and efforts, of which there are many, it has to be said. Great to see them creeping into the super twins, production twins, from dipping their toe into short circuit racing in Moto 1, Moto 3s and Junior Supersport, of course, for cut their cloth. This is a big adventure for our younger riders learning the international circuit. 3.5 kilometers of very tricky corners, elevation changes, hairpins, negative camber, positive camber. It's a lot to take in. So we'll watch with even more interest the Junior Supersport and Moto 1 races, which are coming to you shortly. Of course, after this twins race, we will have the Moto 400s, who combined with pre-injection and classic superbikes yesterday, but will have their own space on the grid once we complete this Megabikes from Ballymount Super Twins and Production Twins. So riders eventually getting around to picking up their spots on the grid. Super Twin lap record on the international circuit was set in 2022. Brian McCormack on his Aprilia RS660, he put in 146.1, and Oisin's fastest lap earlier on in this race was 147, so just 1 second outside of that lap record. The production twin is still held by Ewan McGlinchey, who set that back in May 2017 of 147.9. So perhaps with the kind of sprint effect of this 4-lap race, we may see those lap records threatened, particularly with Jacob Stevenson chasing Oisin down. Oisin led by a country mile yesterday, but he won't have the luxury of that gap with only 4 laps to contend with. So Jacob Stevenson is going to push Oisin on, perhaps put the young Tipperary man under more pressure than he's been used to so far this season. But he has to be said, he's managed that pressure quite well already this season, having to fend off the advances in Supersport from teammate Emmett O'Grady and title contender Kevin Keyes, of course, as well. So Oisin hasn't succumbed to any of those pressures, and we wouldn't expect any different, gaining more and more experience with every race and every lap. And still has the humility of a First time outer in Mondello. Great guy to talk to. Might catch up with him at lunchtime perhaps. He'll be the one with the smiley face. Pristine conditions here out on the circuit. Track temperature at the moment is 22 degrees already and climbing, and our outdoor temperature is 16 degrees. So I'm delighted for our marshals and support staff, grid officials and timing guys that we eventually have some good weather, which means the tire managing and tire choice is less of a hassle. Hopefully the intermediate and wet tires stay in the back of the van for the remainder of rounds 10, 11 and 12 of your Principal Insurance Master Series. And so far we have the most beautiful view of Cara Hill. And here is footage of Brands Bends. So flip-flop into the right and then round to the left, which then takes you into the final corner before you rejoin the national circuit, which is Devaney's. Kind of missing out on there. And then this section, a left-hander called Nordic Spirit. And now you can see the entry point into Southside Motor Factors. Pushes the fuel tank into your stomach as you get on the brakes as late, and just hit that apex just where Mark McGowan passed, and then hard on the gas. Of course, these twins are similar to 250s in you have to keep the corner speed up, because you drop some of that power. It's very hard to get these bikes to sing at top speed again, so you're trying to keep the bike as quick through the corners, not to shave off as much speed as you can. Some fantastic footage here of our grid. So as you can see, it's still Jacob Stevenson on pole position, number 67 on that beautiful R7 Yamaha. Oisin Maher making some final adjustments to his gloves, number 5 the Aprilia RSA 60. So we are ready to go. Eyes on the lights, and they are off. And a good start from Mark McGowan. He's going to jump into second position unless Oisin Maher gets a little bit more drive. As we watch them tip into turn 1, Oisin does make that P2 hold as Mark McGowan sticks on third. Again, a production twin versus two super twins, but you can see the gap already extending, and Oisin has a look underneath Jacob Stevenson into turn 3, but runs a little bit wide, but it's a double apex corner, so he may get back online, and he does. Jacob Stevenson will look at that and wonder, is that a passing option for the remainder of this race? Back into turn 4, hard on the gas, so it's a 1-2 from Oisin Maher and Jacob Stevenson. And still Mark McGowan holding on to that third position as we see the riders start to spread out into Lola corner. Fantastic footage. Big shout out to the marshals. It's not too often you can stand outside your hut in the glorious sunshine. So this is 7A and 7B. Oisin Maher tipping into, followed closely by Jacob Stevenson and Mark McGowan. Then you have Jeff Quilter. I'm not quite sure who's running 6th at the moment. We'll pick those figures up for you shortly. It's Jeff Quilter there, number 711, production SV 650 as well. And this is our riders coming from Devaney's back into Nordic Spirit, and then hard on the brakes. Great corner speed from Oisin into Southside Motor Factors. Tips the apex out to the left hand side of the circuit, hard on the gas. Get that twin 660cc Aprilia singing, and he will post the fastest lap. And the advantage from Oisin Maher to Jacob Stevenson is already out to half a second, so a 151.6 for Oisin from a standing start, and a 152 flat for Jacob Stevenson. Even with that slight error at turn 3, Oisin was able to make up. We see a retirement there. That's number 151, Thomas McGalligan from Kerry on the SV650. Rider completely unhurt, just a retirement. And Oisin is already back into turn 4. Gap slightly extended from half a second at the end of lap 1 as they head out to Lola corner for the second time on their flying lap. Mark McGowan, Robert O'Connell and Jeff Quilter back in their battle for the remaining podium spot. Of course, double podiums here for production and Super Twins as we watch Oisin drop down the hill into turn 7A and 7B under close scrutiny from Jacob Stevenson, but that gap, half a second, looks to be slightly extended as we see them come back from into Baran's Bends and round to Devani's long left-hander. Then they come back towards the paddock into Nordic Spirit. And then lie the bike on its side before picking it up. And again hard on the brakes for Oisin. So we'll keep an eye on these lap times. I would expect another fastest lap from Oisin on this rerun Megabikes Ballymount. Now just past the tower, Oisin is still in control and he drops the 151 to a 146.3. And the response from Jacob Stevens is a 146.4, so that extends the half second to 0.6 of a second. As we watch that Jeff Quilter having a look under Robert O'Connell. Quite sure. It's still Oisin Maher leads from Jacob Stevenson from Robert O'Connell. Mark McGowan, Jeff Quilter, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Adam Carey 6th. Keelan Smith 7th. So he's picking up some valuable points for the championship. Perhaps overtake Sean Brawley, who was in Armoy for the weekend, so he won't score any points this weekend in Super Twins. So that's from Keelan Smith, who's going to capitalise on the omission of Sean Brawley from County Derry. So we turn our attention to this battle for 3rd position between Robert O'Connell, Mark McGowan and Jeff Quilter, 7-7-1-1 from Kinsale. We shout out to Glenn if he's tuned in. He'll be watching anxiously as you see this trio of riders tip into turn 7A and 7B. It's Robert O'Connell, number 189 on the Aprilia, who leads. Mark McGowan on the SV 650 from Jeff Quilter, number 711, also on a SV 650. Of course, production twins have to be held to standard. I think it's 77 horsepower factory, so you cannot make any modifications to the airbox or fueling. And the last lap flag is out, and Oisin Maher still 146.4 last time out, 146.6 for Jacob Stevenson, so that gap has gone out to 0.8 of a second as we watch them two abreast. Robert O'Connell alongside number 157 Mark McGowan. Mark McGowan gets the braking advantage into turn 1, but he's not going to have the advantage into turn 2. You'd expect Robert O'Connell to get solid drive out for turn 3 and retake that 2nd position, which he does with ease. Good dice going on for that final podium spot between Robert O'Connell and Mark McGowan. Jeff Quilter just sitting in the wings, waiting for any errors that are made to be capitalised on. Jeff Quilter running similar times, 152, 152. The last lap before Jeff Quilter was a 150, so made good inroads to Mark McGowan, and he's having a look up the inside into Lola. Not quite. He's knocking on the door of a passing manoeuvre any moment now, but currently it's fallen in the favour of Robert O'Connell on the Aprilia. Mark McGowan reels him in on the brakes into 7A and into 7B. Take the rise up then to the right-hander, drops down into Baran's Bends, flip-flop from the right to the left. The nimble Aprilia does that quite easily, and he has extended that little gap from 3rd to 4th, 5th and 6th, and it's going to be a win for Oisin Maher. Jacob Stephen, a very credible 2nd position, fastest lap of the race in the process, a 146 flat for Jacob Stevens, as we watch our final battle for 3rd position come into Southside Motor Factors. It is indeed going to be a 3rd place for Robert O'Connell. Kerry Ryder very happy with that, number 189. A win in the production twins for Mark McGowan. Jeff Quilter, and Michael Sheeran should be the final, I think, podium position in the production twins. So confirmation that on the road it was a win for Oisin Maher, Jacob Stevenson in second, Robert O'Connell third, from Mark McGowan, Jeff Quilter number 711 fifth, Keelan Smith sixth, Adam Carey seventh, Michael Dunleavy eighth, Michael Sheeran ninth, and Des Butler 10th. Good entertaining race. So again, confirmation of the production twin win, number 157, Mark McGowan, 711, Jeff Quilter gets a second, and third, Michael Dunleavy, number 965, steps up to the podium. Where in the Super Twins, the win goes to Oisin Maher on the Aprilia 660. 0.6 of a second behind Oisin was Jacob Stevenson, number 67, on the Yamaha R7. And third position, number 189, on the Aprilia RS660. Also, Kerry Ryder, number 189, Robert O'Connell. Completing your top 10 then, Michael Dunleavy, Des Butler, 11th position. Michael Murphy, Will Roberts was an omission. I'm not quite sure, I have to check that time. I thought Will was in Armoy. And anyway, we'll see. So we'll just prepare for our podium presentations, the first ones of the weekend, and we will hand you over to Fergus Brennan.
Andy. Thanks, Andy. Sorry about that, we just had to delay there a little bit for an announcement from the circuit there. So thanks, Andy. We've got our first podium for the Megabikes Super Twins and Production Twins. As usual, we're going to start with the Production Twins first. So we're going to call up Michael Dunleavy, please. So we're looking for Michael Dunleavy, please. Michael. So third place, Michael Dunleavy. Second place, Killian Quilter. And our winner, Mark McGowan. Just waiting for the three of them to get up, and then we'll present them with their trophies, and we'll get on with the interviews. Go on up there. It's always good to see a man in an orange bib on the podium. Well done, Michael. There's your trophy. Well done. How was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. We had a tough first two rounds. We didn't manage to make it with bike trouble, so this is our second race. So yeah, we're doing good. We're happy.
First time on the podium?
Yep. I would just want to give a big shout out to that man there, Ross Fannin. Without him, this wouldn't be possible at all. So
okay, well done. I think you had a lot to do with it as well, being able to get up there as a novice. Well done. And the battle continues between these top two in the championship. Killian second this time.
Yeah, I'm delighted. It was a great battle with Mark, so hopefully another one in the next race. Came photo finish, I'd say, so delighted.
Okay, well done. Mark, this isn't going out on the PA, but it is going out on the live stream, so we'll hop down there. So anybody who's here watching the live stream on there and picking up the commentary from there, apologies that it's not going out over the PA, but we hopefully will get that sorted shortly. Mark, another win. Championship's going well for you.
Yeah, it's very close there. We're nearly both at the line there. Jeez, it's so tight. So delighted to get it now, being honest, because Jeff got the win yesterday. So just happy out, and I just can't thank everybody who helps me out, and VTL, VIP Roofing, Harris Autos, and all the people that just helped me out. Just can't thank my family and my uncle Garrett, and my dad, and everybody else. I just can't thank everybody enough.
Yeah,
keep this going and keep the ball rolling, I should say.
Yeah, well done, and hopefully we can continue with more of that until the end of the season. A great show being put on by the Production Twin, and we do have our PA on now, so we're just going to move on now to our Super Twins. We just got to get the prizes up, or the awards up on the podium, and then we'll have the Super Twin presentation. So in the Super Twins, great to see him back here racing and up on the podium. It's Robert O'Connell in third place. Been missing for a short while, former Production Twin racer and Supersport racer. And in second place, our UK visitor, Jacob Stevenson. And our winner once again in Super Twins, it's Oisin Maher. So Rob couldn't wait. He had to pick his own trophy up. He was so eager to get it. He wouldn't even let me present it to him. So well done, Rob. You were saying the new bike, and you were just getting used to it on Friday. So how's it feeling now?
It feels good. Still probably off where I should be, but can't really gauge myself off these two lads. So just plug away again, see what happens.
And you were telling me the Aprilia's a little bit small. Are you getting used to that?
I think I'm a little bit fat. That's the problem.
Well,
yeah, it's great. It's fine. I'll get used to it.
okay, well done on your podium. Jacob, over from the UK, didn't even know where the circuit went on Thursday, and now here you are, not only standing on the podium in second place, but the new lap record holder. Well done.
Thank you. Just trying to get as much power down. We had so many rear slides. The traction wasn't much on the track. It's really low grip at the minute, so just trying to do what we can.
It can't be that bad if you've set the grip can't be that bad if you've set a lap record on it.
Hopefully, but we'll try and beat him in the next one.
Okay, that's more important to you, obviously, getting the win.
Yeah.
Okay, well done. A great performance, having come from not seeing the track before on Thursday to standing second on the podium. Well done, O'Shane. Well done on that. You were also, I think, under the old lap record, but Jacob's just a 10 quicker than you, but a fantastic race between the two of you.
Yeah, 100%. Delighted with that. I'm actually delighted to have him here as well. It's good pushing each other on here, and obviously my first time to win the long track as well. So hopefully in the next one we can have a proper, good, hard battle, and see can I get the lap record back maybe. Hopefully, but fair play to him. First time here, credit to him. I know what it's like coming to a circuit and you don't know it. So fair play to him. Lap record, very impressive, and fair play to Rob there as well. So happy out now.
Okay, well done to our top three in the Megabikes Super Twins: Rob O'Connell, Jacob Stevenson, and O'Shane Marr. So we hand back now to Andy for our Moto 400 race.
Thanks very much, Fergus. Some happy faces on that podium. And we now look forward to our second race of the morning, which is our Moto 400 class, who have already undertaken their sighting lap. So once they come around and get their grid positions sorted out, we will send them out on their warm-up lap, and at which point we will pop up the grids. Interesting entry to this Moto 400 class, because as well as our usual suspects on the 400cc Hondas, ZXR 400s, we also have Brian O'Malley back from his escapades in the UK, competing in the support class for British Superbikes in the Super Teens aboard. Here it is. You can see that number 8 just lining up on pole position. That's the brand new Kawasaki 400, the ZXR 400. That's completely revamped machine. So it's really being put in against some machines that are 25, maybe even 30 years older. Just see Andrew Murphy pulling off the grid. I hope that's nothing too detrimental, because he has a serious stakeholder in this championship. Brian O'Malley seeing if he can help get the Limerick man back underway, but he only has a few moments to get going, or he will either be a DNS, or he'll have to start from the pit lane. It looks as though at the moment he's a retirement, so we will run this race 2 of Moto 400s without Andrew Murphy. That's very unfortunate for the Limerick man. Very, very unfortunate. Such a shame. Messages from race control regarding our 7-lap race in Moto 400, of course, which we've just seen Andrew Murphy retire from. But it was a chance to pull up the grid then for this 7-lap race of Moto 400s. Andrew Murphy, of course, leads the championship. 144 points. So our refixed grid is going to look like Brian O'Malley on pole position number 8 on the green ZXR 750, ZXR 400 even. Andrew Murphy was scheduled to be on row 2, but he is now dropping out, and that will leave row 1 to Damien Horgan. Row 2 is number 157 on the FZR 400, Michael Owens. James Ging, number 70, in the middle row 2 on the ZXR 400. Cian McSweeney, number 6, is completing row 2. Row 3 is Chris Gray, Peter Doherty and Davy Murphy. Blaine Tanner, Damien Higgins, Conor McCarthy complete row 4. And our riders are weaving their way back, the start finish. So the championship with Brian O'Malley on pole position in the moment could be in for a bit of a shake-up with the omission of Andrew Murphy, a late retirement from the start finish. So hopefully Andrew can get that machine repaired for the remaining 400 race this afternoon, which is scheduled for around 3 o'clock, so plenty of time if it's something not too serious, we hope. So the front row again, as you can see, Brian O'Malley with Damien Horgan. Damien Horgan's going to have his work cut out to see if he can stay on the tail of that number 8 bike. As all riders, we are good to go. You can see the light on the tower. Once that goes out, they are underway. Great start from Brian O'Malley. Not too bad from Damien Horgan either, but Michael Owens got a good drive off the line. We watched him into turn 1. Brian O'Malley, no surprise, gets away and into turn 2. And will probably stretch the legs of that newly built bike into turn 3. And we are watching the action further back in the grid. That's the battle for 4th and 5th. Actually, perhaps Cian McSweeney with the 989 bike. But as it stands, it's Brian O'Malley who leads out into Lola Corner from turn 4. Damien Horgan in 2nd position. 3rd position, not quite sure if we can see that far back just yet. As they take the left-hander and fall down the hill into the right-handers that are turn 7A and 7B. All safely around. That's Brian O'Malley coming into shot from Damien Horgan, 157. 3rd position is Michael Owens, who drops from Supersport 600s into the Moto 400 category. I think that's Chris Gray on the green, white and blue ZXR set 400, of course. Kawasaki Endurance colours. And here we see a Nordic Spirit. Already a big gap for Brian O'Malley. With just one of the 7 laps completed. He probably has a margin of over 3 seconds already as we see him pass the tower, complete the standing start of a 154. Damien Horgan a 157. Yeah, so already a 3.2 second gap. Not very much between Damien Horgan and Michael Owens, so that could be the battle to watch for the remainder of this race. And Chris Gray is indeed in 4th position. Cian McSweeney 5th. Peter Doherty 6th. Conor McCarthy 7th. 8th, 9th and 10th. Then is Davy Murphy, Damien Higgins and Blaine Tanner. So as we watch Damien Horgan come under scrutiny from Michael Owens, you'll have the years of experience of Damien Horgan against the hunger of Michael Owens. 2 similar spec machines, FZR 400s. I'm quite sure if they're SP or RRs. Very high revving machines. Good to see them still battling hard despite their age. Damien Horgan sits 3rd in the championship at the moment, so that's a pretty picture for him. But Brian O'Malley, who is currently in 2nd place in the championship, will be happy to bank some more points before he heads back to the UK for the next round of the British Superbike Championship. As you can see, Brunan's Benz being tackled from Brian O'Malley as Damien Horgan and Michael Owens, who's past Damien Horgan, just an exit of 7B into Devaney's. Long left-hander before they come back in towards the paddock to rejoin the national circuit. Will Michael Owens be able to use the clear space in front of him to eat into that 3.2 second lap, 3.2 second lead that already has been established for Brian O'Malley? And we're expecting a substantially faster lap from Brian O'Malley in this race, and he does go from a 154 to a 150.2. Michael Owens posts a 150.2, but of course was involved in a battle with Damien Horgan, so he will probably get a wiggle on lap 3, see if he can eat into that 5.4 second gap that Brian O'Malley has established in the lead of this Moto 400 race. Still over 4 laps remaining, plenty of time. And already Brian O'Malley is back in and exited turn 4 as we watch Damien Horgan tackle 157 Michael Owens. Damien Horgan gets the drive into Lola by exiting turn 4 and pulling over to the left hand side of the track. But still it's Michael Owens who leads around Lola corner. Quick look over his left hand shoulder to see Damien Horgan, number 81. He's in a position to mount a challenge. Means Michael Owens is going to have to ride defensively for the next couple of sectors just to make sure Damien Horgan doesn't make that pass. And unfortunately, it looks as though we have a red flag in this race. Yeah, so this race will be temporarily held, and we'll get the riders back into Park Ferma. We should see a bike on the circuit at turn 1. Rider up and completely unhurt, which is obviously the most important factor. But for the moment, turn 1 is in need of some running repairs, and we get some recovery vehicle out there. It looks like that is number 37, Conor McCarthy, who touched down in turn 1, but up and completely unhurt. And you see the response vehicle already out on circuit to remove that machine from the circuit. So thanks very much for that, guys. Very speedy response. Don't need any more delays. We've got 12 races still to run on the international circuit, which is in fantastic condition. Credit to the Mondello staff and ground workers. Stephen Tobin is an obvious omission from our Moto 400 race now. We'd like to see him back whenever he can to put the squeeze back on some of our regulars. Still sitting fourth in the championship, and I think we may have a rerun of that incident into turn 1 just to see how that unfolded. So let's see what our race producer can get us up. So we can see Brian O'Malley coming in, or Chris Gray, and then it's just, he just takes is that James Ging? It looks like James Ging who washed out is at the front, and the bike flips then awkward, which forces Conor McCarthy to take a wide line. And then he's just in the line of fire, which is a pretty tricky place to come off on the exit of turn 1. I think that was Conor McCarthy. So rider up completely unhurt. Good to see John Rock and the guys get the little 400 FZR 400 of Conor McCarthy from Cork back up, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. Make some running repairs to the machine, and he's got a good few hours to fix any breakables and get that machine back for this afternoon's final race of the afternoon. Actually, Damien Horgan set the fastest lap and the lap record for the Moto 400 class on this same FZR that he's riding at the moment. He set that back in September 2022 with a 150.45. So we'll keep an eye on his lap record to see if that still stands at the end of this race, which will probably be restarted. That was third lap. So we will probably have 4 laps plus a warm-up. So yeah, confirmed from race control. The new race will be restarted, 1 warm-up and 4 laps. As we see our staff just giving it circuit a bit of a sweep. Thankfully it's well off the racing line, so it shouldn't be of any harm to any of the riders. That exit of turn 1, just a little bit of cement dusters being placed down to soak up whatever liquids was deposited on the circuit. So that means, of course, unfortunately, that Conor McCarthy will not be rejoined in this race. Thanks, James King. He's informed us that it certainly wasn't him that came off on turn 1, because he is, to the delight of his boss, still in work. Thanks for that, James. Good to see. Maybe you get out this afternoon. Maybe the boss will let you off. Pull a sickie. It's too nice a day to be in work, James. Get yourself down here. James King actually sits 5th in the championship, so and he took his drop in rounds 7, 8 and 9, so he's going to have to bank every available point from here on to the end of round 18. See if he can eat into that 4th position in the championship from Stephen Tobin, who has missed out. Not quite sure where Stephen was. I was expecting him perhaps to be in maybe Armoy yesterday, but no, because didn't see him in the timing sheets. And he has a new FZR 400 prepared. He was getting it set up the last time we caught up with Stephen in Mondello. Himself and I think Ben Milan were working on this project that his older FZR championship winning FZR had expired, and I think they had one in a shed for years, and they just pulled it out and started work on it. So to get it up to proper race spec was taking him a little bit of time, but hopefully we'll get Stephen back here in the next while, put some more competition in the Moto 400 category. So here comes our response vehicle. Thanks, John Rock, appreciate that, very good. So we will have our circuit ready to go live once more for this restarted Moto 400 race. 1 warm-up and 4 competitive laps. A little bit more. Thanks, race control. So that is a confirmation that our restarted race will be 4 plus 1, so 1 warm-up lap and 4 racing laps. You see a good bit of footage there, number 157, that's Michael Owen's FZR 400RR, and in the background Brian O'Malley's number 8 ZX4RR, I think is the proper terminology for this machine. Razor sharp handling, revamped engine. I think they kick out 88 horsepower from stock. So whatever they can do for the Super Teens Championship, you could be looking at a 100 horsepower, 400cc racing bike, which would be an absolute missile, coming in at a little over 160 kilograms with 100 horsepower. You're almost going back to 250cc power per kilogram ratios. I think Brian O'Malley in the background as well has a huge racing footprint in the Irish and UK championships in a minute. Has a healthy interest in the O'Valley series as well, which we were quite lucky to get to in White River in County Louth 2 weeks ago. Beautiful conditions like today. Watching our young prospects and stars of the future run their O'Valleys around the White River karting track even. See a rider going out there scrubbing some tyres as his number boards taped up. So our pit lane now will be opened for the 400. Moto 400 restart. Grid staff are already in position. Put our riders back on our revised grid, which won't look too unlike the original starting grid, but we'll run you through that once more as the riders get out on their warm-up lap. As James Ging informs us that he will not be at work this afternoon, so we'll be back in time to complete race 3 and perhaps sit in the chair of Fergus Woodlock for the remaining sidecar race. All going well. We'll catch up then, James. Thanks for the message. Appreciate that. So already we can see Michael Owens, number 67, Chris Gray from Cork, and Damien Horgan in pit lane. Number of a new rider, is that 909? Oh, that's Blaine Tanner, ready to rejoin the fray. So we will have slightly revised grid. We'll just start with the existing one for the moment and talk you through the starting positions. As our riders are already coming back into turn 4, we can look at turn 1 looking perfectly, and that is turn 3. So again, unfortunately Andrew Murphy is out for this race, so row 1 will look like Brian O'Malley on pole, 149.9. No, third on row 1 is Damien Horgan, number 81 on the blue FZR 400 RR. Row 2, it will be Michael Owens, who got a great start last time out. James Ging is still in work, will be back for race 3, so he will be out. Keane McSweeney 989, I think became a cropper in that, so we'll keep an eye to see whether Keane is rejoining. Then row 4 is Chris Gray, number 67 on the green, white and blue ZXR 400. Peter Doherty, number 34 from Roscommon, also on a ZXR 400. Row 3 completes number 24, Davy Murphy from Wexford on another ZXR. Then it is 909, Blaine Tanner, Damien Higgins, and Conor McCarthy will not restart this race following that incident into turn 1. So slightly smaller grid of 4 rows for this restarted Moto 400. You see number 989 on the right hand side of your picture there. That's Keane McSweeney from Cork on an FZR, very sharp front end, looking really sweet, cracking looking bikes even for their age. You see Peter Doherty there is number 34 sitting in the middle of row 3, and just behind him number 940 is Damien Higgins, and here comes Brian O'Malley, number 8. Does well to squeeze behind the fairings of that pocket rocket ZXR 400, ZX4RR even. Damien Horgan sitting patiently on the right hand side of your screen, number 81, the FZR 400 RR. As we watch the remaining 2 riders take their position on the grid, that's Chris Gray in the endurance coloured Kawasaki, number 67. So, ready for the lights. Riders will get their exciting warm-up lap under their belt, and it will be Brian O'Malley from Damien Horgan, from Keane McSweeney, Michael Owens, row 2, row 3, Chris Gray, Peter Doherty, Davy Murphy. And row 4, Blaine Tanner and Damien Higgins. Not quite sure what the fastest lap was on that previous race, but the lap record is still with Damien Horgan. 150.450, so we'll keep an eye on that as they progress through this 4-lap race. So this is the new part of the International as they come out of turn 4 into Lola Corner, Lola Bend, and then that takes them to the left-handed sweep, and they will fall down the hill into turns 7A and 7B, which is just coming into shot now. That's Chris Gray into 7A. You can see it's one sweep and movement, and then this will bring them up the hill into Brands Bends, which, as you can see at the moment, a right-hander, and then into the left. Keane McSweeney there in your shot number 989. And after Brands Bends, that takes them to a long sweep and left-hander back into the National Circuit, Devaney's, Nordic Spirit, and back to our start-finish through Southside Motor Factors. Corner speed key for these small machines, capable machines. So important that they keep as much heat in the front and rear tyre as they all bay for the same spot in turn 1 any moment now. We'll just keep an eye on the newer ZX4R and Damien Horgan, see how they get off the line. You'd expect the extra horsepower of number 8 to perhaps outperform Damien Horgan, but we'll watch them now. Eyes on the light. You can see that under the BMW bridge, as soon as that red light goes out, they are go, and they are. That's a perfect start from Brian O'Malley, and a really good start from Michael Owens, also number 157. There's enough momentum to carry him into turn 1. It's not just at the moment. Damien Horgan holds on to that second position, and already Brian O'Malley has a few bike lengths of a gap established from Damien Horgan and Michael Owens in third. That is the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Brian O'Malley coming back into turn 4, drops the leg, and out of turn 4 then, keeps the gas on, out to the right hand side of the circuit, back over to the left to get into the right line for Lola Bends. A long right-hander creeps uphill slightly, and then they will pinch into the left before dropping down into 7A and 7B. And Brian O'Malley still with a comfortable few bike lengths ahead of Damien Horgan and Michael Owens. Chris Gray had to stand the bike up just a little bit there, lose a little bit of time coming out as we watch Brian O'Malley into Brands Bends, and followed closely by Damien Horgan, Michael Owens, Chris Gray. That will take them back to Devaney's corner, and they will come back into the paddock bends around Nordic Spirit, and then hard on the brakes into Southside Motor Factors to complete their outlap, their first standing start, and start their first flying lap. 3 laps remaining. So you'd expect Brian O'Malley to post the fastest time, and he does indeed, with a 154.7 from Damien Horgan's 155.3, Michael Owens 156.8. And that's Chris Gray tipping in to turn 1 from Keane McSweeney. As we watch Brian O'Malley and Damien Horgan contest turn 3. Great footage here from our live stream That's Michael Owens just exiting turn 3 with Chris Gray, Cian McSweeney, and should be Peter Doherty running 6th. And that is Michael Owens. And we see Lola Benz, leader Brian O'Malley, followed by Damien Horgan still. Damien Horgan missing a front fender, perhaps trying to get some more air into that radiator of the FZR 400. Get a bit of flow, keep it cool. And that is Michael Owens, who exits 7B and then a rise up to the hill before they drop into Brands Benz. Right-hander, left-hander. That's Chris Gray exiting 7A and 7B from Cian McSweeney and Peter Doherty, number 34. As the leaders come back into Brands Benz, there's Chris Gray. That's number 989, Cian McSweeney on the FZR, and they grapple with Devaney's Benz, which takes them back into our paddock shot for Nordic Spirit. The leaders are already past the start finish. Complete 50% of this revised, restarted Moto 400 race. It's Brian O'Malley into turn 1, fastest lap again, a 1:49.97, and that should be a new lap record for the Moto 400 class for Brian O'Malley. Damien Horgan 1 second adrift with 1:51.06 and 1:52 for Michael Owens. Then it's Chris Gray, followed by Cian McSweeney and Peter Doherty. So we're expecting a new lap record at the end of this race for Brian O'Malley with that 1:49.6 of a second quicker than Damien Horgan's time posted in 2022. And here Cian McSweeney takes a wide line out of turn 3. Doesn't lose much momentum. Able to carry that into turn 4. That's Damien Horgan around Lola Bend, getting away from Michael Owens. As we watch Michael Owens cut a solitary figure into turn 7A and 7B. He'll be able to ride as aggressively as he wishes, because with no chasing him down, doesn't have to ride defensively at all. Already Brian O'Malley is got a 1.7 second lead from Damien Horgan, posting the fastest lap and a lap record on that last lap. Let's watch Cian McSweeney. That's Peter Doherty, number 34 in the black and white FZR, or ZX 400, apologies. As we watch the leader Brian O'Malley complete lap 3, and the last lap flag is being shared for the leading trio of Brian O'Malley, Damien Horgan, and Michael Owens should be along any moment now. There he goes. Complete lap 3 of 4. And it's another fastest lap and lap record for Brian O'Malley, a 1:49.5. So almost a second under the lap that Damien Horgan set in 2022. Brian O'Malley exits turn 3. Takes a sweeping. Watch the line that he takes out of turn 4. He doesn't need to pick the bike up for the expected national circuit. He just keeps the bike on its side, lets it run out to the right hand side of the track, and keeps the bike pinned, which gives him great corner entry into Lola Benz. As you can see, sits up, drops the bike into turn Lola again, keeps the bike on the left hand side of the circuit, and then we sweep to the left, and then there's probably not as noticeable on TV footage, but it drops down considerably into 7A. So you're hard on the gas for 7A and 7B, hard on the brakes into 7A, and you're pushed right into the front of that bike. And now it comes into Brands Benz for the last time, 3.8 seconds ahead of Damien Horgan and Michael Owens. That is Devaney's, and coming back in towards the paddock Nordic Spirit corner, he will have the checkered flag waiting for Brian O'Malley. So let's see if he can even improve on that fastest lap and lap record of a 1:49.5. It's looking good. Head down, keep it pinned, nothing to see over his shoulder. and a 1:49.6, so his best lap on lap 3 of a 1:49.5 will go down for Brian O'Malley as the last lap record for the Moto 400 class. So already 2 lap records set this morning, one for Jacob Stevenson in the Super Twins on the R7 Yamaha, and just now we have another lap record set for Brian O'Malley in the Moto 400 on the ZX 4RR with a 1:49.5, almost a second quicker than the existing lap record of 1:50.450 that was set by Damien Horgan in 2022. So lots to celebrate for the O'Malley clan, and still one race left to come. Damien Horgan gets back into Park Ferma, confirming P2, and your third place rider will be Michael Owens, number 157 on the FZR 400. So that completes your podium for the Moto 400 race. See Chris Gray get back in, followed by Peter Doherty. So thanks very much. So just confirmation on your screen there of the result, and with that we will drop you down to the podium's presentations to Fergus Brennan.
Thanks, Andy. We're ready to go with the Moto 400 podium. Another great performance there by Brian O'Malley, improving on the lap record that he set yesterday. Great performance by this young man who's been doing a lot of racing over in the UK in the Super Teens Championship, and coming back here then to race the same machine in Moto 400. So great to see him doing so well. So we're going to call up our top 3, and in third place it's Michael Owens. Michael. Wes coming across there to hold the bike for him, no stand. It's a while since he was up here and he's forgotten what the procedure is. But great to see him. We'll present his trophy to him in a second. Second is Damien Horgan. Man who's well familiar to the procedure of getting up on the podium here. Has many podiums to his name in Moto 400. And then our winner, Brian O'Malley. So if you hold on there, lads, I'll present your trophies to you. Michael's already picked his up, but we'll shake his hand anyway. Well done, Michael. Good to see you back on the podium. Step back down into the Moto 400 class for a bit of crack, I suppose.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a step down now, the way them boys are riding. Look, it's an extremely competitive class, and I'm having great fun. It's going to take me a while to get the wee bike sorted. I'm having a couple of problems, but no, I'm really enjoying it.
So do you think you do anything about these two ahead of you?
I don't want to rush it though. I want to take my time and get the bike right. There's no point in forcing it for no reason, so I'll get it ready.
Well done, Michael. No stranger to the podium here. Has been up on this podium in Supersport before and Supersport Cup. Damien, second place. This young man here is a little bit too hot, like the weather, a little bit too hot for you today.
A wee bit too hot for me, is right, yeah. Oh, he's flying. Took me lap record yesterday. I had to have a wee sulk yesterday evening. But he's after breaking the lap record again. He's flying. So, it's good. Like, it's good. But we kind of wanted to close the gap on the boys. I kind of kept him honest maybe for a lap or two there, but you're fighting a losing battle, I think.
Yeah, it looked like you made a big effort down into the first corner to maybe try and get ahead of him, and then you might be able to do something about him.
Yeah, it was going to be a bit of a mad lunge if I tried something like that. I'm too long in the tooth now for that now, but we've one more race now. Hopefully it cools down a wee bit. It's a wee bit warm out there, so we'll see.
We shouldn't be complaining about that. Hop down there, because with that step and your height, you're way too tall. Another lap record and another win. Well done.
Yeah, I'm delighted how the weekend's going. It's just class. Best weekend I've ever had in a long time, and break the lap record again was great. And couldn't have done it without all the lads down there. Wes, Dad, Mum, Granda, everyone. The Wearseys, Irish Power for coming to watch. Everyone is just class.
And one more go at it later today. You're going to knock that lap record down a bit more?
Get it to a 49 flat.
49 flat. Superbike times. That's what he's looking at. Well done to our top 3. Michael Owens, Damien Horgan and Brian O'Malley. Gives them a round of applause there, please. And we'll hand back to Andy for, I think it's pre-injection and classic Superbikes up next.
Thanks very much, Fergus. Some very happy-looking chappies there on the Moto 400 podium. And that will lead us into race 3 on your program for today, which is pre-injection classic Superbikes race 2, which yesterday was combined with the 400s, but we do have plenty of time in our calendar and timetable today for the classic Superbikes. Two championships in contention, the classic Superbikes and the pre-injection 600s and 1000cc, predominantly the R6 pre-injection 600, but a healthy little grid of classic Superbikes also. And once we get them back onto their start-finish positions, we will pull up the grids formed and based on yesterday's race times. But for the moment, we'll watch these beautiful scenes of the unexplored kitty litter so far. Most of the riders back into shot on the start finish. 6 rows of bikes for this 7-lap classic Superbike and pre-injection race. Good to see Daryl Sharkey back on the grid. Daryl had that bit of a tip off yesterday, so nothing substantially damaged on the bike. Great to see Daryl back. Number 45 sitting on your grid, the R6 Yamaha. Gives the nod to number 95. That's Alan Smith. I think Alan Smith is also a Cavan rider, so probably well introduced to each other as we watch Michael Prendergast on his Ducati 916. And on his shoulder is brother Ian Prendergast, Tipperary duo. We catch up with those boys yesterday. Bikes are absolutely immaculate condition. You would not think that those bikes were over 25 years old when you see how well they're turned out. And that's backed up by the lap times that they put in as well, which will become more evident as we watch this 7-lap race progress. That's number 986 taking his position, Graham Anderson, on the back of row 2. So almost everyone in position. We will let them proceed with their warm-up lap, and we will pop up the grids then and run you through. So good footage of turn 1. They'll head out of earshot. We will get that grid up. So as you can see, number 45, Daryl Sharkey, heads up row 1 on the R6 Yamaha. Alongside him will be Michael Prendergast, number 21, the Ducati 916. Ian Prendergast completes row 1, number 68 on the R6 Yamaha. Jake Reed, number 402, had a great performance yesterday, rewarding him with the top of row 2. Alan Smith is number 95 on row 3. Graham Anderson, 986, completes row 2. Row 3 is Robert Toner, number 133, with the Dunn pairing of Noel and Liam Dunn, number 107 and 20 on row 3. Row 4 is Vincent Long, Kenneth O'Gorman and Sean Mooney, number 959 on the Honda Hornet. Row 5, Derek Royal, Barry McHale, Austin McNally. Row 6, Aidan Dooley, Cody Purcell, number 53 and 497. Is Liam Concannon. And that is your starting grid for this 7-lap pre-injection and classic Superbike race. This is their second race of this weekend. Michael Prendergast leads the classic Superbike championship from Liam Dunn and Noel Dunn Sr. Robin Heathcote fourth in the championship. Not here this weekend, not quite sure why that is. me see if we can pull up the pre-injection. Pre-injection 600 championship is being dominated by Darryl Sharkey, who's on pole position, as you can see, number 45. Jake Green, number 42, sitting second in the championship, and Ian Prendergast third. So all of those three riders are in the front two rows, so a lot at stake. And we haven't the championship table updated from yesterday, so not quite sure what way the gaps are managed, but quite tight at the top of the pre-injection 600. As we watch the last of our riders, I think Sean Mooney is Sean Mooney is there on the naked Honda. You can see that, number 959. So we are just waiting on we are good to go. So all eyes will be on the red light under the M-Town Bridge, and we are underway for 7 laps. Bit of a wheelie from Darryl Sharkey away, so that might cost him some positions. It is Ian Prendergast who will lead into turn 1. 53 is a non-starter. That's disappointing from Cody Purcell. Can't get the R6 going as the leaders head out for the first time to turn 3. Looks like Michael Prendergast making serious inroads to that battle for first and second between, I think, Ian Prendergast and Darryl Sharkey. And you can see them come into turn 4 for the first time. Bit of a bobble from the rear of Michael Prendergast's 916 Ducati, where he keeps it pinned as they disappear from view into Lola bends for the first time. Still looks like Ian Prendergast in the lead from Darryl Sharkey. Michael Prendergast third. Of course, different championships, but he'll want a win on the road as well as a championship victory. Ian Prendergast, of course, multiple race winner and a championship winner in the pre-injection 600 class in the past. And he's making fantastic inroads to his lap time, so we would expect when he comes back into shot at Nordic Spirit and complete his first lap that he would post the fastest lap of the race so far. So we'll keep an eye on that as we see the riders come back in from Devaney's to Nordic Spirit. Michael Prendergast, Jake Green taking a look at up the inside of those two Terminioni pipes of the 916 Ducati, but it's going to be fastest lap we would think for Ian Prendergast as he pings the tower with a 1:52.8, 1.3 seconds ahead of the chasing pack. That is Darryl Sharkey, Michael Prendergast, Jake Green. Alan Smith holding on to a very fine 5th position, and the done pairings of Noel and Liam 6th and 7th. That's enough for a podium in the classic Superbikes. As we watch the riders into turn 3, you see the handling of that Ducati just all over the back of Darryl Sharkey. They're racing 2 separate races, but Michael Prendergast will be anxious to get past to see if he can eat into that 1.3 second lead that Ian Prendergast has established so far. Darryl Sharkey just won't give up. Watch the leaders come out of Lola and into the left-handed sweep before they drop down the hill into turn 7A and 7B. First time on their flying lap. That is the battle for second, third and fourth between Michael Prendergast, Jake Green and Darryl Sharkey, number 45, the R6. Michael Prendergast again closes in on the corner. See if the drive of the Ducati can eat into that second place, but not for the moment. As we see them return to the national part of the circuit, you would expect another fastest lap from Ian Prendergast here, who's being unwatched at the moment. The leaders can pass the tower. Confirmation it is Ian Prendergast, Darryl Sharkey, Michael Prendergast, Jake Green, and the fastest lap is indeed Ian Prendergast at a 1:48.3. That gap still 1.3 seconds, so has needed increased or decreased. We watch that's Noel Dunn, number 107. Nolan Senior. That's the leaders already out of shot. And as the mid-pack tackles turn 1. Ian Prendergast incidentally holds the lap record for pre-injection 600 with a 147.9. 147 flat, my apologies. So we'll keep an eye on that as the tyres get warmer, a few loads come down. Confidence in the track adhesion builds. In the classic Superbike, Derek Wilson from Cork still holds the lap record for that. He rode it on his LXR 750 in September 22 with 147 flat also. So we keep an eye on those lap records. As watch Darrell Sharkey could it only figure into Brands Benz. Apologies, Ian Prendergast. That's Darrell Sharkey in second position, being hunted down by Michael Prendergast and Jake Crean. Waiting in the wings for any errors, mistakes made. He will be there to pounce. There's Sean Mooney on the naked Honda Hornet number 959, 600 Honda Hornet. So we watch Sean through Brands Benz, and then that will pitch them into the long left-hander to bring us back towards the paddock as the leaders come past. Start lap 4 of 7. Fastest lap that time around was 147.5 for Michael Prendergast. So he will be itching to get past Darrell Sharkey to see if he can. That lead stays at 1.3 seconds. So maybe Darrell Sharkey and Michael Prendergast are the ones to watch with similar lap times. But they're not making much progress into the lead that Ian Prendergast has already established. He is uncontested out in front. Last lap is 144.6 for Ian Prendergast. Watch the tail end of that 916 Ducati. Exit turn 4 for Lola Corner. For the 4th time of 7. Alan Smith still holding on to that 5th position. Robert Toner's in 6th position. Number 133. That is your leader coming back into shot, dropping into the right-hander and flip-flop. That is Brands Benz. Darrell Sharkey still in 2nd. Coming under close scrutiny from number 21, Michael Prendergast. Again, closes in really well on. Doesn't have the exit speed that these R6 Yamahas have. But that's fine for Michael Prendergast, who leads the classic Superbike race. It's a different battle going on between the R6 Yamahas, the pre-injection bikes. Now let's keep an eye on the lap times there as they fan out. Another fastest lap for Michael Prendergast, 147.3 on that last lap, and 147.4 for Darrell Sharkey. So much and muchness. And that number 95. That is Alan Smith in 5th. That was Graham Anderson, number 986, in the green Kawasaki in the middle of that Yamaha sandwich. Cody Purcell, unfortunately, didn't get to start this race, number 53, as we watch the leaders into Lola for the 5th time. Next time round, the last lap flag will be prepared. And that looks like a faller into Lola. Can't quite make out the number who that is, but rider perfectly all right. That's number 43, I think, Barry McHale. But rider completely all right. Ian Prendergast then still leads. The gap, I think, has come down slightly, so maybe Darrell Sharkey has found a little bit of momentum to get into that lead. But as we said, next time around there will be just 2 laps left of this 7-lap classic Superbike and pre-injection 600-1000 race. And leaders. Oh, Michael Prendergast unfortunately is a faller in the Southside Motor Factory. That Ducati is on its side. Michael Prendergast completely unhurt, thankfully. So that is going to bump Jake Green up to third position on the road, who will pop into our field of vision any moment now. And very unfortunate for Michael Prendergast. Hopefully no damage to that Ducati 916, so he can get out for the last race of the afternoon in the Classic Superbike outing. He'll be disappointed with that. Alan Smith actually is up into third position. Number 95, Robert Toner. Fourth, fifth and sixth, Liam and Noel Dunn. Graham Anderson, seventh. Number 986 on the ZX6R Kawasaki. Jake Green has become a cropper also somewhere. Not quite sure where that happened. Perhaps that was in Lola. Perhaps that was indeed Jake Green instead of who we thought was Barry McHale. And that is last lap flag is being prepared. Ian Prendergast, Darren Sharkey going toe to toe now. The yellow flag, no overtaking allowed. So I hope the guys see them flags and don't make a maneuver into Southside Motor Factory, because it won't count. So they'll enter sector one, where overtaking is allowed once more. As you can see, no yellow flags being held into turn one. And a back marker coming into play, so he's done the right thing. He stayed wide. That hasn't impeded Darren Sharkey too much, thankfully. So we could be in for a tasty last couple of corners. Darren Sharkey, I'd say, smells blood with Ian Prendergast untested so far in this 7-lap race. Turn 3 completed. Identical bikes, identical horsepower. No electronics, no rider aids. Into turn 4. Ian Prendergast will be very aware Darren Sharkey lurking in the background. Good drive out into Lola corner side by side, but not close enough to make a pass for Darren Sharkey. We're going to have an intense final couple of corners to this pre-injection 600 race, but its advantage in Prendergast for the moment has led from flag to flag. Drop down the hill into 7A, 7B. We haven't seen any overtaking here in this section, so we'll look to get in the gas early and to drive out of 7A and 7B into Brands Benz for the final time. Darren Sharkey not close enough to make a move. They seem to run wide at Brands Benz, didn't hold that line. That's going to cost him some time as he goes into Devaney's, and that will increase the advantage for Ian Prendergast, number 68 on the R6 Yamaha. So unless Darren Sharkey can do anything on the brakes into Southside Motor Factories where the flags are down, it looks as though it's going to be another win for Ian Prendergast, number 68. And the checker flag goes out, and it confirming the win for Ian Prendergast and Darren Sharkey. And that is Aidan Dooley, number 968, and we are waiting on Alan Smith to confirm his third position. Number 95, that's third position for Alan Smith on the R6 Yamaha. I think that's his first podium in pre-injections. He'll be quite thrilled with that. Well done. And in the Classic Superbikes, it's going to be a win for Noel Dunn. Second position for Liam Dunn. And I think that will be the only podium in Classic Superbikes, because we only had 2 finishers. As we watch the last of the riders come across, that is Kenneth O'Gorman, number 26. Still one rider out there circulating. I think that is Either Aidan Dooley. So double podiums again, of course, for this combined race of pre-injection and classic superbikes. Not the result we expected, you would have to say, in classic superbikes, but confirmed win in pre-injection for Ian Prendergast. Half a second back was Darrell Sharkey. Alan Smith, new to the podiums. Congratulations, Alan, number 95. And in classic superbikes, it's a win for Noel Dunn and second position for Liam Dunn. The only two classic superbikes that finished. So a good 7-lap battle. Unfortunate for Michael Prendergast, of course. Confirmation, 11th position for Sean Mooney, number 959 on the Honda Hornet. Kenneth O'Gorman, 12th. 13th position for Austin McNally. Aidan Dooley, 1 lap back, number 968. And confirmation of retirements for Michael Prendergast and Jake Cree, number 402. So hopefully nothing to Robert Toner in the 1000s. Yep, wheels his R1 back in. So hopefully nothing too dramatic for Jake Crean and Michael Prendergast, that they can get their bikes rejigged for their final race of the afternoon. See a couple of bikes being held for technical inspection in Park Fermat. That will hold up our podium presentations as we see Noel Dunn and Liam Dunn released back into Park Fermat. Good, cheap, entertaining race in the classic superbikes and pre-injection, similar to the production twins. Plenty of reliability and speed. Motorcycling Ireland's technical team completing their technical regulation checks for the pre-injection superbikes. So it looks as though we are good to go for our podium presentations for the pre-injection and classic superbikes. So it's over to you, Fergus.
So we're going to call up just our top two in the classic superbikes. We only had two finishers, Liam and Noel Dunn, and I think it's Noel who's in second place and Liam who's the winner. Liam is up here already. Noel just putting the stand under his bike, so we'll get him up in a second. Noel won, so few changes there at the end. So Noel's the winner, Liam in second place. Hop up there, Liam. I'll hand you that trophy in a second once Noel gets up. So Noel's on his way up, so we'll start off with Liam. Well done, Liam.
Thanks, Fergus.
Just the two finishers today. Hop up there, our race winner. You're the winner. You're the winner. Well done.
Thanks, Fergus.
There you go.
Where's the champagne?
Later. You've still got to go out again. Right, so Liam, the owl lad beat you again.
Yeah, he's starting to make a habit of it, isn't he?
He certainly is. And the top two steps on the podium, very good.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I don't know, I see Mick in the gravel there, but look, we had a couple more bikes in this class. It makes for great racing, like, so unfortunately there's only the two of us in it, but look, I had a great race with him. It was back and forth there for a while and enjoyed it.
Well, we did have 6 at the start of the weekend. Things aren't quite that bad. It's just in this race only 2 of you have made it here.
Yeah, well, these things happen, you know, a bit of luck, and sometimes you're unfortunate.
Okay, well done, and well done, Noel. Yeah, no, you're not too tall. You're not too tall. You're fine. You're at just the right height. So how's that, a win?
Good, Fergus. That's the first win now, so that's great.
Does it make it any better beating the young fella?
Of course it does. Bragging rights again today and every day.
You've had bragging rights all season, haven't you?
Yeah, well, sure, we'll go with it anyway. We'll chance it.
Okay, well done to our top two then. All we have is the two of them. The Dunn family dominating the podium here. Liam and the father Noel. Give them a round of applause. Well done to both of them. Well done, lads. So we just got to get our trophies out for our next presentation, which is for the pre-injection 600 class. Right, in third place in pre-injection, a man who's fairly new to the class but has raced Supersport and Superbike in the past as well. It's Alan Smith. Come on up there, Alan. And in second place, after a battle between two of the top lads in our championship, it's Daryl Sharkey. And our winner, Ian Prendergast. So hop up there, lads, and we'll present your trophies. So come on up there, Ian. Jump up on the top step. There you go, Alan. This is better crack than riding a Superbike, isn't it? You're getting on podiums and everything.
Yeah, well, it's a lot less pressure anyway, isn't it? A lot more fun. I'm enjoying it a bit better, so.
So you're glad you made the swap over?
Ah, yeah, it's change. Change is as good as the rest, so I'm out there, I'm enjoying it. I didn't have the pace for the lads, but I'm still enjoying it. And
I'm sure that the pace you've shown on a Superbike in the past, you'll find the pace eventually for these two.
hopefully now just getting used to the new bike and trying to get set up, so hopefully go a bit faster in the next race.
Okay, well done, Alan. Speaking about going faster, Darryl, that was some second last lap you did there, 46.
Yeah, the grapes in my teeth and wanted to catch you in, but I just want to say a special thanks to the marshals yesterday. I had a bit of an off, and fair play to them, to all the people that helped me out. Philip Monaghan, Michelle, Casey, Tom, Vinnie Long, everybody that gave me bits to get back out today, so big thanks to them, thank you.
So all those new bits from other people made your bike quicker, didn't it?
Yeah, flying. I just need to go faster again the next time to get them. But
so I was just looking at time, it looked quite impressive to me, but in terms of your lap times, 46, that's a good lap, is it?
Yeah, doing that in the Supersport a couple of years ago when I was at it, I didn't know they were capable of doing it, but between myself and Ian, we kind of pushed each other, and I could hear Mick behind me on the Ducati, so I was kind of trying to get away from him.
And then he was gone.
Yeah, so hopefully he's all right, and I think Jake fell off, so hopefully the boys are all right and be out for the next race.
Okay, well done. Ian, hop down there. This man, Sharky, he's making your life difficult, isn't he?
Yeah, sure, yeah, he's always doing that. But yeah, I didn't know whether it was Darryl or Mick was behind me because I have no pipboard. But I knew the two of them would be there. So I didn't get any rest during that race. Yeah.
So unfortunately, you didn't have Mick to play with after halfway through that race because he slid off, but he's okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know that till I came in. Didn't know he was after coming off. I didn't know Jake was after coming off either. But I knew Darryl was there.
Yeah, but the man you really need to worry about in the championship is Darryl, isn't it?
Ah, yeah. Sure, look, it's good fun. We're both pushing each other, and
Darryl is shaking his head.
Well, it'd be more fun for him if he was on top step, I suppose.
Makes for good racing.
Yeah. Makes for good racing.
Makes for good racing.
Sir,
yeah, I just wanted to thank Paddy Corn, Tony Welsh, Tommy Gamble, my partner Kate, all my family that came up to help us, and happy anniversary to Bernie and Mickey.
Okay, well done, Ian. Our winner of the pre-injection class, Daryl Sharkey second and Alan Smith third. So it's hand over now to Andy for the DM Groundworks Junior Supersport and Junior Supersport and Moto 1 race.
Thanks very much, Fergus. More smiling faces. And we will just confirmation from race control there. Our next race up is the DM Groundworks Junior Supersport and Moto 1. So as soon as we get our recovery wagons, response vehicles back into the paddock, we will have an open pit lane for 5-lap race of Junior Supersport and Moto 1. And this will be their final outing of the weekend, having completed 2 races yesterday. And the absence of the pairings of Reuben Sherman Boyd and Buster Sherman Boyd means this championship will look slightly different this evening than it did at the start of the weekend. As we watch Alana Marr, number 115. She had some issues with the shifter on that 400 Kawasaki. Some issues with that yesterday, but hopefully they've been resolved and she can rejoin the fray. That's Alana just exiting turn 1 at the moment. As we can see from the graphic, beautiful 19 degrees. Air temperature, track temperature 31, humidity 70%, practically no breeze. And That is to be the plan and the forecast for the remainder of our racing program today on the international circuit. There's Principal Insurance rounds 11 and 12. Our new riders getting some experience on the international track that they probably haven't had exposure to before. Chats with some of the riders yesterday, so that the likes of the experienced riders Thomas O'Grady and Kevin Keys helping these young guns acquaint themselves with the extra corners that become part of the international circuit. There's particular one, 7A and 7B, which links up Lola Bends to Lola Corner to Brands Bends, which you're just watching at the moment. A change in machinery this weekend for Fionn Stevens, the number 17 rider, who had previously contested the Moto 1 championship on his TDR 300 Tianda, but has moved to the more production-based machinery of the Yamaha R3. I think James Halligan had some input in getting that equipment for Fionn Stevens, so he did a fantastic outing yesterday on it, picking up 2 wins in that category. So we'll keep you abreast of his progress in this 5-lap race coming shortly. Fionn Stevens competes also in the Ovale series, which will be back here in Mondello Park in September, I believe, for their last championship outing. Very important series because the top 2 finishers in that FIM Mini GP series will represent Ireland in Valencia at the MotoGP round in the Road to MotoGP series, which is a hotly contested championship. Previous championship winners have gone on to successful MotoGP careers, so it's quite an important step in their career path as young rookies to compete in that championship. But we'll keep you up to date on when those championship dates are back in Mondello Park, tagging on to the last round of the Principal Insurance Masters Championship. Good crowds here starting to build in Mondello Park. Car park is almost full. We see shortly be the overflow car park that will be in use. Do you fancy a sit down and have a look at the big screen sponsored by Megabikes that is right across from the grandstand, giving you all the optimum views from our See It Live stream. Beautiful blue skies in the background from that shot from turn 1. We watch the riders in their sighting lap exit Brand Bends. And then the beautiful blue skies looking back up to Southside Motor Factors, which are destined to stay with us for the remainder of the day. Bad news for Rhys Coates, unfortunately, yesterday, who had his international lap record beaten. Rhys Coyne took that. Rhys not here at the moment, competing elsewhere, so we'll keep an eye on that. Uh, 152.6 is the target in this Junior Supersport race, and Moto 1, the lap time of 20.1 seconds with Ruben Sherman Boyd set in 2022. So we'll keep an eye on those lap times as the race progresses. But for the moment, our dummy grid has been formed. You can see that number 17 R3 of Fionn Stevens and the number 11 bike of Finn and Weirty. That's the NS250R Honda, similar spec to the machine used in the British Talent Cup. See one rider, who's that? Number 30, having issues with picking up his spot on the grid. That's Joey Hennessy from Wexford on the Kawasaki. He's got a spot sorted. Alana Mar, your shot there, number 105, drops the visor. So again, just one warm-up lap for these international meetings. That's all you need to get a bit of heat into the tyres. And the wheelie there, was that Rory Creeth, number 918. And once the riders disappear into turn 3, we will pull up the grids and talk you through the combined grids for this Declan Madden Groundworks Junior Supersport and final Moto 1 race of rounds 11 and 12, the Principal Insurance Masters Championship. And the riders tucked around turn 3. Coming back into view for the turn 4 that they can take differently because of the drive that they need to get out to Lola Corner. And they head back out towards the added sections of Lola, 7A, 7B, Brands Bends and Devaney's. And with that, we will hopefully pull up your grid. So as you can see, it is start on the top of the grid for Fionn Stevens, number 17 on the R3 Yamaha. Finan Huerty is in the middle of row 1 on the NF250 or Honda. Rory Creeth, number 3, is third, number 918 on a Ninja 250 Kawasaki. Row 2 is Mark Carey, 67. That is an R3 that he has on loan, so that will sound a little bit peppier than some of the other machines. Max Huerty is also on row 2 in 5th position, and he is riding the Tianda 300, with Fionn O'Connell completing row 2 on an R3 Yamaha. Row 3 is Joey Hennessy, Rhys Gates and Mantis Sudinas. Joey Milliken, Alana Marr and Donal O'Donovan make up row 4. And row 5 will be the pairings of Cork's Aoife Griffin and Joe Crosett, number 14 on the Kawasaki. And that is how your grid will look for this 5-lap race in the Declan Madden Groundworks Junior Supersport Moto 1. You can see the riders starting on pole in the fluorescent orange. Fionn Stevens eager to get going, as is Finan Huerty and Rory Creeth. So lights ready to go out. See who gets starts are absolutely critical in these smaller capacity machines. Brilliant start from Fionn Stevens. Makes a clean getaway, and he will have a nice cushion into turn 1. And somebody has come from row 2 to put a fly in the ointment of the other row 1 progressors as they all neat and tidy out of turn 2 towards turn 3 for the first time of 5. But it will be the lead for Fionn Stevens on the R3 Yamaha. Already established a good lead, and Finan Huerty has dropped back into 3rd place, but he is having a look around the outs of turn 4. A little bit of a bobble on the way in, but that Honda will be planted and gets good drive out of turn 4 to head for Lola Corner for the first time, as the rest of the chasing pack disappears into the right-hand Lola Corner. Good battle between Fionn Stevens and Max and Finan Huerty yesterday. Two different machines, different championships, but they were nip and tuck for race 2 yesterday. So you would expect, I would expect, while Fionn Stevens leads on the road, I would expect an almost faster lap from a standing start for Finan Huerty. But we can take a look at that when they come back into shot past the tower any moment now, as we watch them flip through Brands Bends, and that will take them through the long left-hander that is Devaney's, which they complete at the moment. Here comes Fionn Stevens into Nordic Spirit, left-hander. And then into Southside Motor Factors. Drops the leg, Fionn Stevens, number 17. So let's keep an eye on the lap times as they get the drive past the tower for the first time. Complete their standing lap. Fionn Stevens, fastest lap for Fionn Stevens, drops into the sub 2 minute category already. Fun and Weird, just marginally outside of it with 2 minute flat as the chasing pack. So that's Mark Carey on number 67 on the R3 Yamaha, who came from lower sections in the grid yesterday, finished higher up and is really gelling with this R3 Yamaha and is in third position. Fionn O'Connell, number 3, is in fourth. Fifth, Joey Hennessy. Sixth, Max Werrity. Then Joey Milliken, Rory Creeth and Rhys Gates. And Mantas Sedinas completes your top 10 as the rider leaders are already out into Lola corner. And you can see them tucking into the right hand corner of his Lola. And that looks like Mark Carey, and he will be shortly under the cosh from Fionn O'Connell, number 3 on the R3 Yamaha. Similar spec machines, production based Yamaha parallel twins. As we already watch Fionn Stevens' lead being eaten into by Finn and Werrity. Running 2 separate races, one Junior Supersport and one in Moto 3. That's the Moto 3 bike, the 250 Honda of Finn and Werrity. And here comes Fionn Stevens back in towards the paddock. Nordic Spirit and into Southside Motor Factors. So their first flying lap will be completed any moment now. And that will be lap 3, starting lap 3 of 5. So it's R3 versus 250 Honda. And the fastest lap that time for Finn and Werrity, and drops the gap down to half a second as the chasing pack appear into view. It's Mark Carey and Fionn O'Connell, and that could be the battle to watch for the moment between Mark Carey and Fionn O'Connell as they exit turn 1. You would expect Fionn O'Connell to be in a position to make a move on Mark Carey, perhaps, because his last lap time was 1:57.9 as opposed to 1:58.9 of Mark Carey. So Mark Carey will be under intense scrutiny from Fionn O'Connell any moment now. So let's see what he can line up for perhaps turn 4. Good drive out of turn 3. Different lines being taken by both riders. Mark Carey mightn't be aware of the advancing Fionn O'Connell at the moment, but it's still the advantage. Mark Carey into Lola corner for the first time. Second, third time. He leads and holds on to that third position. Different riding styles apparent there with the number 3 bike of Fionn O'Connell hanging off, getting more body position off the bike, keeping that bike more upright as we watch them into 7A and 7B. And the leaders has changed. It is on the road. Finn and Werrity leads Fionn Stevens, but it means Fionn Stevens still leads his class on the road in Junior Supersport. But he's going to perhaps try and follow that 250 Honda, a more GP orientated bike than the R3. So it was always going to be apparent that the 250 Honda would have the prowess for the circuit. But let's see what the lap times are here as they come past the tower. And it is still advantage Mark Carey from Fionn O'Connell in the battle for third. Back and forth, it's Joey Hennessy, Joey Milliken and Rhys Gates. As here is Mark Carey and Fionn O'Connell. Not much between them on the start and finish, so similar powered machines you would see. No power advantage for either bike, so it's going to be down to the wits of the rider on the brakes or some cornering manoeuvre that's going to make the difference if a pass is going to be made from Fionn O'Connell. Fastest lap that time around was 1:53.7 from Finn and Werrity, from 1:54.6 and 1:55 last time around from Fionn Stevens. So best part of a second between the riders due to that he should be orientated 250 based Honda ridden by Finn and Huerty. Confirmation from directors on that, and it is still in third position, the battle for third to Mark Carey and Fionn O'Connell number 3 all over Mark Carey, but just not quite close enough to make a move. He's possibly going to try and draft him perhaps on one of the faster sections and then pop out and try and outbrake the similar seated bike of Mark Carey, but there's nothing between them power wise and top speed, so a drafting maneuver might be the only way that Fionn O'Connell can get past Mark Carey. But for the moment he's about half a second back, not in a position to make a challenge at the moment. And as we watch, it looks as though, have we lost Finn and Huerty? Because Fionn Stevens has just passed the tower first, so it does indeed look as though we have lost Finn and Huerty somewhere between 7A, 7B and the start finish, unfortunately. And that is going to hand a podium to Mark Carey and Fionn O'Connell, but they have unfinished business to decide who's going to stand on the top step, and the last lap flag is out. So if Fionn Stevens has a good pit board, he will be let know that he is a 16-second margin, so he could potentially push that bike around for the rest of the lap and still take the victory. So that's going to be a hat-trick for Fionn Stevens, the young Wicklow rider, as we see a lonely figure being cut back into the paddock. That does look like Finn and Huerty walking back in. Thankfully he's unhurt from, we missed that incident wherever he tipped off, unfortunately. Marco Carey anyway still has the advantage for second place as he heads out to Lola Corner for the last time. Fionn O'Connell's last lap was 1:57.9, similar lap time from Mark Carey, so he hasn't eaten to that half-second lead. He's still adrift. So let's see if Fionn O'Connell can mount a last-minute challenge on this last lap of 5 laps in the Declan Madden Groundworks Junior Supersport on Moto 1. But already Fionn Stevens is almost back into view, and he will be under the checkered flag shortly, as we see Joe Crosett in the top corner. It's still Mark Carey and Fionn O'Connell having a dice in Brands Benz, and already it's Fionn Stevens with a 16-second advantage. He's going to take his third win of the weekend, but the battle for second isn't over just yet, as we have a look at Mark Carey come under the scrutiny from Fionn O'Connell, but I don't think he's close enough to make a challenge on the breaks into Southside Motor Factor. So this could be a second position for Mark Carey, potentially his best finish in Junior Supersport. So he gets under the bubble and indeed takes the second position. Fantastic result for Mark Carey, the Dunshaughlin rider, in second position. Third position for Fionn O'Connell. Fifth, Joey Milliken. Fifth, Joey Hennessy, sorry. Sixth is Rhys Gates. Rory Creeth in 7th. 8th, Mantis Sedinas. Alana Maher, a weekend best of 9th, and Max Huerty completes the top 10. So an eventful race for many reasons there. Fortunately, Finn and Huerty didn't get to complete the race, so Fionn Stevens already back in Park Ferma and off the bike with his hat-trick of wins for the weekend on the R3 Yamaha, as ex-teammate Fionn O'Connell parks up beside him in third position, and Mark Carey again deserved second place in that Junior Supersport result. And Moto 1 provisional win for, quite sure we get the graphics up for that result. So some very happy faces in Park Ferma already, and it looks as though we're already ready to get our podium celebrations underway. So we'll hand you over to Fergus.
Thanks very much, Andy. We're just waiting for the last of our Moto 1 finishers to come into the holding area. Unfortunately, only 2 finishers in Moto 1. The reason the class is so small this weekend, we've actually had a load of defections over to the Junior Supersport class. So that's a much bigger class now. So we're going to start with the Moto 1. And in second place in Moto 1 was Max Werrity. Max coming running through the paddock. And our winner, Fionn O'Connell. So just the first 2. Hop up on the podium there, Max, and we'll get to you to present you with the trophy any second. Hop up there. Fionn's just getting his helmet off. Come on, Fionn, up you come. Right, we get on. Well done, Max. Well done. Second place. And well done to our winner, Fionn O'Connell. There you go. Well done. Max, how was that?
It was good. I couldn't really push all the way. My tyres were gone, so I decided I'd just stay back a bit, not do anything too dangerous. So
that's a very mature decision to make. Well done. And have you anything to give out about your pit crew this time? You were giving out about their pit signal in the last time. Are they getting any better?
No, they're fine.
They're fine now?
Yeah.
Okay, well done, Max. Another podium. Fionn, hop down here to me. You're running away with this championship, very consistent, winning all of these races. It's been a great season for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been, couldn't complain. It's just gone perfectly. It's
nothing else to say.
Yes.
Well, then there must be a few people you need to thank.
Yeah, my mum, my dad, Darragh Core, all the lads local, that Phil Wilson that sprayed the bike. Sorry for crashing it again, but yeah, just everybody.
And of course, Kevin Keys, your mentor.
Yeah, Kevin, he helps me with everything, like his lines, everything. His mentoring is just unreal.
Well, he has the knowledge, and obviously it's working well. He's passing it on to you. Some great performances. Well done to our top 2 in Moto 1, Max Werrity and Fionn O'Connell. So we're going to just take a second, and then we'll be moving on to our Junior Supersport podium. So on with the Supersport podium. In third place, Joey Milliken. Well done, Joey. As I've always say when I'm up on the podium, it's always great to see somebody with a novice bib up on the podium. Joey's been a regular visitor, so well done. I'll give you your trophy in a second. Second place, a welcome return to the podium here. It's Mark Carey. And then our winner on his step up to the Junior Supersport class from Moto 1, it's Fionn Stevens. I'll get to present that to you in a second there, Mark. All right, you can pick it up yourself. That's fine as well. Hop up there on the top step. Well done, Joey. Well done. Another good race for you. These 2 lads in front of you are very experienced and going very quick, so you're doing very well, I have to say, for a man who's only just come into this game.
Yeah, well, I didn't think I'd keep up with him this time. I was the other 2 races I finished a bit behind. Couldn't get the bike to work quite right. First time on the track as well, just trying to figure everything out, and I think I finally found something last night, and I've got it working there today. It's far better, like, so I was able to keep up with them this time. They were pulling gaps on me yesterday, so.
Well done. That's good to be able to start to work through stuff like that in your first season here.
Yeah, didn't think I'd ever even be up here on it with a bib on, like, never mind do it multiple times, so. Yeah, I'm very glad of everyone that's helped me through everything, all my sponsors and all those things, yeah.
Okay, well done, Joey. Move on to Mark. Mark, you haven't consistently been in any of the classes. You've been swapping from one bike to another, but now that you're back on the Junior Supersport bike, you're flying.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was on the R3 for all the rounds this year, but I changed to a 400 Kawasaki, and that seems to make the difference in this class.
And you're also racing in the Super Twins.
Yeah, well, it's on a new R7, so we're just giving it a run out this weekend, and then I'm focusing on the 400 now.
So you're going to do something about this man next time?
Hopefully, but he's a good bit faster, so I don't know.
But he got some start, so it was always going to be hard, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well done, Mark. Fionn, come forward a little bit. You don't need to hop down. You're grand. You've got a nice height for the camera there. That was a great win. Your first time on the Junior Supersport this weekend, and you're winning races.
Yeah, it was a good race. Thanks, James Halligan, for giving me the bike. And yeah, it was my first time on it and I won, so it was good.
And you're going to stick now with the Junior Supersport.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in that for the rest of the season, I think.
So you're going to show these other guys up now, aren't you?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. Well done to our winner on his first weekend on the Junior Supersport machine, Fionn Stevens, also to Mark Carey and Joey Milliken, and we'll hand back over to Andy at the top of the tower for our next race. Thanks, lads.
Thanks very much, Fergus. Good to see the youth getting the rewards for their hard work out on that long international circuit. And we had another new lap record set within that race as well. So in the Moto 1 class, Fionn O'Connell is the new lap record holder. And the previous lap within the Moto 1 class was Ruben Sherman-Boyd with a 2:01, and Fionn O'Connor managed to strip that of 3 seconds with a lap time of 1:57.956, and I think that is going to stand for quite a while because of the limited opportunities we get on the international circuit. So you would expect Fionn O'Connell to go into 2025 as the lap record holder in Moto 1 for the international circuit. And speaking of 2025, it's a good time to mention also the initiative from Motorcycle in Ireland to secure our funding for the insurance bill for 2025 with their MCI Whole Shot raffle, which has guaranteed prizes of up to €150,000 with tickets at €100. It's important that we all jump on board to support this so that we don't end up with a season lacking as we had in 2023. It's certainly a scenario we don't even want to think about as we have our halfway Principal Insurance Masters series underway. It's something we really don't want to think about or speculate. So we could encourage everybody to support Motorcycle in Ireland and have a look at the MCIWholeshot.com website and pick up your ticket for €100 or go halves with your buddies. Pool your resources, but either way, we could get better input from people and have a more safer outlook for 2025 than at the moment, where it really doesn't look all that positive, it has to be said. We will try and catch up with Motorcycle in Ireland at some point to see exactly where we are within that fundraising, but at the moment it's a little bit bleak, sorry to say, but that's just simply how it stands. And if we simply want racing in 25, this is how it's broken down into its cost, and insurance is something we have no control of. So we would again once more encourage everybody to get on board with Motorcycle in Ireland's initiative. Again, it's big money, so if it's you have a good chance of taking home 150 grand or some of the smaller prizes of 10 grand also. There's a lot at stake in both what we have for 2025 and the chance of winning the money. So we'll please encourage everybody to once more get on board with a Motorcycle in Ireland initiative to raise funding for our 2025 season. So again, that's the MCIWholeshot.com website where you can pick up your tickets there and support this brilliant cause. So back to our race program for the moment. So 2 more races before lunch, and we have our Principal Insurance Superbike and Supersport B race to look forward to at the moment. Pit lane is open and our riders are on circuit already, completing their sighting lap. Of course, they've already had one race yesterday. One more mention also from the Motorcycle Marshals is if you're taking pictures from inside the paddock, please make sure that Yeah, just once more, if you are taking pictures from one inside the paddock, please make sure that the flash is turned off from your smartphone or camera. We don't need that distraction for riders out on the circuit, so either tape it up or switch it off. And let's keep our circuit as tidy and clean as possible. So we're watching our riders backing themselves up for their grid positions on this second Superbike and Supersport B race of today, weekend. Great shots there from our tower cam. And we will pull up our grids later on as our riders get their warm-up lap underway. We should have 6 rows of machinery, Supersport 600 and Superbikes combined. Fortunately, no John Byrne today. John had a major mechanical yesterday on his Honda Fireblade, so that put a stop to his weekend. So hopefully we can see John for the next rounds of the Principal Insurance Masters. We get if anybody has a cheap Fireblade engine in a good state of tune, John Byrne, I'd say, will be very happy to talk to you. Oh, good to see Graham Smallwood's actually back out as well. He came off yesterday. The bike looked very second hand, so obviously he didn't get to put in a time for today's grid, not completing the race, but good to see number 62 Graham back on that ZX-10R. Hopefully it's only superficial injuries and minor damage to the bike. Good to see you back, Graham. Well done. So that's our grid away for their one warm-up lap. That's all they need to do on the international circuit. It's just one lap to get the heat in the tyres and brakes. Watch them scream out past the big tree and into turn 3. And we will pop up your grid in a minute and talk you through our starting positions for this 7-lap race of the Principal Insurance Superbike and B race. And our outdoor temperature is still climbing to 19 degrees, track temperature of 32. Perfect conditions. Obviously riders taking advantage of it with 3 lap records already broken this weekend. Super Twins, Moto 400 and Moto 1. Lap records have been reinstated. New owners of Jacob Stevenson took the lap record in the Super Twins, Fionn O'Connell in the last race in the Moto 1 class, and Brian O'Malley in Moto 400. So we'll have to bother Paul Grogan and timing.ie for a refresh printout of the lap records. I'll catch up with you maybe at lunchtime, Paul, who is responsible for popping up our timing. So if you pop onto timing.ie, you will see a presentation exactly as you would in BSB. You can pick up our commentary, you can have a look at our track statistics, and of course our timing. So as our riders come back into shot, we will pop up our starting grid and talk you through our starting positions. So row 1 is Albert Pender from his dramatic victory yesterday from the back of the grid. Puts him on pole, number 428 on the GSXR 600. Alongside him is Gary Crean, number 79, and then Robbie McGarren, number 76. Row 2 is Stuart Hession, John Griffin, and Ross Quinn. And we are just looking at a change because what I see on the grid doesn't reflect what I see on paper. So number 79, Gary Crean, is actually on pole, and I don't see Albert Pender within this starting grid. So I'm not quite sure what's happened Albert Pender, but he's certainly not on the starting lineup that I have from the timing. But anyway, we are underway. 7 laps to go. And the lead goes to Gary Crean, number 79, as the riders embark on journey out into turn 3 for the first time. And duck under the double apex, turn 3. And into turn 4 for the first time. All gingerly through turn 4, get on the gas early, get out to Lola corner. And now first to 7 laps. That looks, can't just make out the riders' positions at the moment. We'll have to wait until they come back in to ping at the tower and get their positions as they negotiate 7A and 7B for the first time as 7. And dropping down, it is Gary Crean in the lead into Brands Benz. Number 79, Gary Crean from Wicklow on the R1 Yamaha. And that is leaders coming into Nordic Spirit for the first time. The stand and start. Southside Motor Factors. Robbie McGowan has a look up the inside, makes it stick. I think that's Rory Flahav that's in third position. Robbie McGowan made that pass stick into turn 1 for the first time. The second time of the first flying lap. And it's already Gary Crean who has built up a commanding lead already in that opening lap. 2.5 seconds of a gap already from Rory Flahav. And then in 4th, 5th and 6th is John Griffin, Stuart Hession and Ross Quinn as the leaders exit turn 1. Confirmation of fastest lap for Gary Crean, 1:57.3, 2 seconds inside everyone else's. Only 2 riders dropped into the 2 minute, but you will see that time drop as these flying laps are completed. So still a lead for Gary Crean. Albert Pender is an omission from this race. Robbie McGowan in second position from Rory Flahav. That's Robbie there in the foreground, number 76, in the ZX-10R. And he drops it into Brands Benz, as indeed does Rory Flahav on that multicoloured. Number 908 make up 5 positions already from row 3 onto the podium. So third place at the moment for Rory Flahav. And fastest lap on lap 2 for Gary Crean, a 1:51. Robbie McGowan, 1:52.5. Gap has been extended to 3.8 seconds. And then a further 3 seconds back to Rory Flahav. So already the pack starting to fan out. John Griffin in 4th, Stuart Hession 5th, Ross Quinn in 6th, Trevor Ford number 144, 7th, 8th number 951, Aaron McCann 9th and 10th, Adrian Heaney and Colin Kerwick. Number 62 looks to have a transponder issue, so that is Graham Smallwood. So if somebody can get the message over to Graham to get his transponder rectified. We can't pick him up on the timing system, but we can see him circulating. And We are looking at a jump start from under scrutiny from race control at the minute for Rory Flahav, number 908. So that start from the third row into third position may be the result of a jump start. So we'll see what race control decide to do with that. See whether a penalty will be applied. Usually a penalty of 10 seconds will apply depending on the severity of it. We'll keep you up to date on that as we watch the leaders come into Baran Bends for the third time of 7. That's number 83, Aidan Heaney, and Aidan is in a battle with Colin Carwick, 2 Supersport machines. And you can see them into Devaney's, out into Nordic Spirit as we watch Robbie McGowan drop into Southside, and we do see Graham Smallwood's back on the timer now in 11th place, number 62. Started from the back of the grid because didn't get a time yesterday. And here is number 63. That's John Griffin. John Griffin and Ross Quinn, perhaps. No, Rory Flahav. Rory Flahav still under, 10-second penalty for Rory Flahav, so that's going to drop him out of contention somewhat. Probably put him in 7th position at the minute and bring up Stuart Hession and Ross Quinn to 4th and 5th respectively. But the lead is still with Gary Crean as we watch riders from turn 3, and we flip to the entry to Lola and then drop down into 7A and 7B for the 4th time. That's Gary Crean out in his own on the R1 Yamaha. And cuts a lowly figure as we also watch, I think that's Rory Flahav into 7A and 7B as well. But once he has that 10-second, no, that's, sorry, apologies, that's Robbie McGowan. ZX10R, that's him approaching Baran's Bends at the moment at the chasing pack. Exit 7A and 7B. Robbie McGowan tips it into Baran's Bends, still sitting in 2nd position, 4 seconds adrift of the lead. Last lap was 152.9. Best lap of the race so far, 151.2 for Gary Crean. Both Superbike riders, so it's a Superbike 1-2-3 at the moment between Gary Crean, Robbie McGowan and John Griffin. So you watch the riders approach Southside Motor Factors. Complete their 4th lap. Great conditions for racing here, as you can see from the blue skies in the background as the riders escape turn 1, drop it into turn 2 and then head out towards turn 3. Rory Flahav has dropped down to 8th position then once that 10-second penalty has been applied. So he may be 5th on the road, 4th or 5th on the road, but he will be back in 8th position with that time penalty of 10 seconds for the jump start incurred by race control. This is the battle for 5th and 6th, 6th and 70. Just confirmation there from race control with time penalty of 10 seconds to number 908, Rory Flahav. I missed that getting off the line. We're too busy watching Gary Crean and Robbie McGowan getting away from the start lights. So with 4 laps done, it's still a lead for Gary Crean, number 79 on the R1 Yamaha. Robbie McGowan, P2, number 76 of his ZX10R. I think this is the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Pick that up as they drop into Baran's Bends. That's John Griffin. He should be followed by Stuart Hession and Ross Quinn. Oops, bit of a mistake from Trevor Foran there, 144, but keeps the bike upright and continues his circulation unimpeded as we watch Gary Crean complete 6 laps of 7. So the last lap flag should be displayed next time. They will be. There we have number 63, John Griffin, GSXR is it? dropping into turn 1. That is the battle for third, fourth and fifth. As we watch the mid-pack head out towards turn 3. Just over 1.5 laps remaining. Still a lead for Gary Crean, who's turned the wick down slightly with a 1:52 lap the last time out. Best lap was on lap 2 with a 1:51.2. Robbie McGarren also into the 1:51s on that last lap. Everybody else circulating 1:54s for that combined battle for third, fourth, fifth and sixth between John Griffin, Stuart Hession, Ross Quinn and Trevor Foran. 1:44. We will see Trevor Foran drop out of contention after that bobble that he had. I think that was around 7A or 7B on the entry to Barran's Bends that Trevor Foran lost that time. Cork rider on the R1 Yamaha. You see a pass from Aaron McCann on the green ZX-R, ZX-10R, and that is still the battle for third, fourth and business, so still a podium up for grabs. Gary Crean and Robbie McGurran have disappeared into the distance, and we watch Gary Crean collect the last lap flag as the battle for third comes into view. John Griffin under pressure from Stuart Hession, number 146. No, 908, apologies. That's Rory Flahav who is in that battle, but he's in a battle in a pack, but 10 seconds down the road on time. Still racing for position. If he gets ahead of John Griffin, potentially get some clean space in front of him as we watch Graham Smallwoods past the tower. The leaders are already coming back into shot for the final time. The battle for third position goes on in turn 3. It's still John Griffin who holds the advantage. Stands the bike up on the entry into turn 4 for the last time, and out to Lola one more time to see if Rory Flahav can break the toe or maybe get in after Lola corner. Can't at the moment. We keep an eye on what's going on with the lead. We're expecting Gary Crean any moment now to come back into shot around Barran's Bends or 7A, 7B. Robbie McGurran is, but meanwhile the battle for third goes on between John Griffin, Stuart Hession, Ross Quinn, Trevor Foran and Rory Flahav out of the contention on combined times with a 10-second penalty. That is the battle for third, dropping into Barran's Bends for the last time as we watch Gary Crean collect the checkered flag. Next up will be Robbie McGurran, number 76 on that ZX-10R. So it's a second position for Robbie McGurran. And we watch then the last of the Rory Flahav has a look up at the inside of Southside. He makes it stick, so he'll be third on the road, but he will be 9th altogether. And you see Rory Flahav, John Griffin just pipped him by the smallest of margins, 1/100th of a second, but with the time penalty applied, that puts Rory Flahav back in 7th position. So just confirmation of the win then for Gary Crean and Robbie McGowan. John Griffin 3rd, Stuart Hession 4th, 5th for Ross Quinn, 6th for Aaron McCann, 7th for Rory Flahav with that time penalty added on. Adrian Heaney was 8th, Colin Kerwick 9th, 10th position for Graham Smallwoods. Number 999 is 11th, that's Lee Hillen. And 128 just passing is Wayne Gaffney. Warren Cabinet, number 912, was 12th. And Trevor Foran, did we see, was Trevor a retirement? Possibly was after that moment, maybe. Yeah, we just see Trevor coming back into shot here, so he is bringing that bike back in, and we'll probably need a recovery wagon to go and pick him up wherever out on the circuit he parked up. Can't quite see him from the top of the tower. So that is our Supersport and B race complete. Now we turn our attention to our first blue ribbon event of our Sunday, which is going to be our Principal Insurance Supersport race, eagerly anticipated. And we will have an 8-lap race before we break for lunch in the Supersport category, Cup and Pro riders of course, and we will expect a big entry for this combined Pro and Cup race of Supersport riders. Great battles yesterday, it has to be said, between Oisin, Kevin Keys, Emmett O'Grady, and we're expecting any different from this 8-lap race. And we wonder, with Supersport lap, with the lap records being beaten today, could we potentially see a change in the Supersport lap record that has stood for 14 years from Glen Irwin back in 2010? We've got better bikes, faster bikes, better tires, better suspension. And better brakes as well. So if we've ever had an opportunity to put a Supersport lap record on the international circuit under the cosh, I think now is the time. So I know Glenn is away on Ducati duties in Misano at the World Ducati Week. It's a very interesting event where they're all placed on, all the riders invited are placed on identical Ducati Panigales. So I think, as we are at the moment, with the Supersport grid starting to form, we will have some grid interviews from Jim Halligan, give us some insight to how the Supersport riders are feeling ahead of this 8-lap battle. But yeah, I wonder, will we have an opportunity for this lap record to get busted? We'll see what Jim and Fergus can pick up for us. So we'll hand you over to those pairings of Fergus and Jim. Over to you, boys.
For the Principal Insurance Mondello Masters, here with Fergus Brennan. Fergus, great to see the sunshine.
Oh yeah, we've been blessed this year. Our Saturdays have been a bit up and down, and it's caused delays, and luckily we've been able to get through the Saturdays due to the great work by the marshals and the officials. As usual, they've been brilliant, because the Saturdays have been really tough on them with rain stopping and starting. But so far, we've managed to get all of the Saturday stuff done on Saturdays and not have to drag it over into Sunday. So we're running our full program today. If the weather keeps like this, it's going to be a brilliant day's racing. And after the battle that we saw yesterday in Supersport, I'm sure you were watching it too, Jim, and we're really looking forward to this first Principal Insurance Supersport race.
Yeah, it was a real nail biter. Went down to the last corner between Oisin Marr and Emmett O'Grady. Going in, both bikes looked they're both the same paint job, and one had to be the winner and one had to be the loser, but what a fantastic race it was.
Well, apparently, and this is a good reason why we have our big screen here, I was talking to Oisin afterwards, and they actually swapped places a load of times on the last lap, but all out on the international track where we couldn't see it. But today, if you're here and you want to be able to watch everything that's going on around the whole circuit, get down to the main straight grandstand, and we've got a big screen in front of us there, in front of you there, where you can watch the whole of the live stream, see all of the action that takes place out on the international circuit, as well as what's going on directly in front of you. So we'll have that there for the remainder of the year. So anybody who's coming back to the Masters for the rest of the year, that big screen will be there to watch what's going on the bits of the track that you can't see.
Speaking of the rest of the year, when is the next event?
Oh yeah, we've 2 more events, the end of August and the end of September. The next one's on the international track again, and then we're back on the national track for our big finale. And this weekend is the final weekend of the first part of the championship. After this, the riders have to drop their worst weekend of the year, and then the points will be recalculated. And then it's all hell for leather for the last 2 events. Everything counts for the last 2 events. And it'll also count as the Southern Star Championship. So it's a whole separate championship. And in previous years when we did that, we saw some additional riders turn up to take part in those last few races in the hope of winning the championship.
Well, that's great to hear. So the riders are back. I think we'll just have a quick chat. We've a bit of short time. Anything else you need to tell us?
No, just enjoy the day. Get to the grandstand and watch the big screen. You'll see everything that goes on.
Thanks, Fergus. Our first lad back, Emmett O'Grady. Emmett, we were just talking about yesterday's race. Fantastic for the spectators.
Yeah, great for spectators, not so great for me. We're after changing to a newer bike this round and for the rest of the season, and just taking a small bit more to gel with. Our lap time should be quicker from previous laps, years previous, but we're chipping away and try to get a bit of payback.
So tell us, this one's got wings, so this is a newer model, is that?
Yeah, so this is a 2022, so it's the one with electronics and stuff like that on it. It's much the same, to be fair. It's much the same, it's just that it has electronics on it instead of, it's a bit more technical, but like that, we'll get there.
You enjoying the sunshine?
Loving the sunshine.
It's a bit like Spain, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Long may it last, and all going well, we'll have a good, safe race.
Good, great to see you, Emmett. We'll move back to the, I think it's the second row here on the outside of the second row. We have second in the Cup Championship, Brandon Kavanagh. Brandon, having a good weekend so far?
Yeah, not too bad. Finished second there yesterday behind Jack, a little bit back from him, so see can we do anything better in this one.
You have a motley crew around you this weekend.
Yeah, all the boys are helping out, to be fair to them. So big thanks to all the lads in the garage, all the sponsors on the bikes. I wouldn't be here without all of them.
Well, good to see you here, Brandon. Well done. Congratulations. We'll move across to the outside of the second row, and this is what real Mondello Masters. The riders doing their own stands and doing their own tire warmers, and whatever. Jack Werty. Jack, great race yesterday.
Yeah, good run yesterday. Yeah, we won the cup by a couple of seconds, but I kind of have my eyes on the pro lads. I want to be up battling with them now, so it's great to learn off them lads. They're very well experienced, so looking forward to the race today to see how we get on.
Tell us a bit about the sun. Is that affecting you much?
No, not really, no. I don't know what it's going to be like towards the end of the race. It might get a bit slippy on the tyres, but look, the weather is what it is. Like, can't be a nice sunny day.
Well, it's great to see you here, and you're getting closer and closer to the front. Well done, all right?
Same, Jim, thanks.
And back to Andy in the tower.
Thanks, Jim. Good to catch up with some of the contenders for this hotly contested Principal Insurance Supersport race. First one of today. 8 laps to look forward to as our teams clear the grid, tyre warmers off, paddock stands down. We will watch our Supersport riders take in the first of their sighting laps, and once that's completed, they'll get back in and have a moment before the warm-up lap, at which point we'll pop up the grids for you. Good, particularly tight racing yesterday, and we're not expecting anything less today. It's Kevin Keys back after just took a small slide really yesterday. Nothing too difficult to hopefully repair, as he got himself back into the international swing following a TT and another event back here in June. Kevin is back into short circuit mode with the Darrow Core equipment. Now, of course, the R1 for the Superbike and an R6 for this Supersport race. So 7 laps, apologies. 7 laps for this Supersport race, and we had the omission in the B race of Albert Pender, who has of course qualified for the main event, which is why he was missing from the grid in the Supersport and Superbike B race, but he is on the grid for this Principal Insurance Supersport 8-lap race. Again, I'm wrong. So well done, Albert. That's a brilliant performance. We do see in your starting programme James Walsh and Michael Sweeney, but of course they were in Armoy yesterday, so they won't be on the circuit today. So just watching 7A and 7B with the Supersport guys, and that will bring them up the rise into Baran's Bends. Flick to the right, flick to the left. They're back in from Devaney's into Nordic Spirit, and then they will position correctly on their starting spots, and then one more warm-up lap and we will be underway. Jack Querty, number 267 Cup rider on the R6. Declan Madden sponsored R6. Oisin Maher, top of the grid so far on row 1. But your pole position man has just arrived. That's Kevin Keys. Was leading quite comfortably yesterday and took an excursion at 7A and 7B. And wasn't able to rejoin, which left a battle for teammates AKR Bourne Racing, Emmett O'Grady and Oisin Maher to dice it out for the remainder of that race. And Emmett took the initiative, but with a couple of corners left to go, Oisin made the move and made it stick, and that was how that race 1 ended up, with the win for Oisin. Really gelling well with that 600 bike provided by AK Bourne Racing. So the row 1 is where it's going to be at, but Jack Querty has performed. Looks as though we have some dust from turn 3, so somebody's become a cropper perhaps. This warm-up lap I think will be stopped while they deal with that issue. Yeah, we have a red flag, so this warm-up lap won't count. So we'll bring our riders back into the paddock and the start finish area once more. Hopefully there's nothing too serious in turn 3 for our officials and staff to deal with, and hopefully we get this race underway again once more. So again, that warm-up lap will be abandoned. So unfortunately we can see it's Oisin who has come off in turn 3 on a warm-up lap. The bike looks heavily damaged unfortunately as well. Seemed to somersault in So he will not be able to rejoin, unfortunately, and will have to come back to the medical centre for a checkup. But that bike looks pretty second-hand at the moment. So we will have a revised front row, unfortunately. But good to see him, Oisin up and walking and helmet off, in walking wounded, as they say, and in good hands. See Paul Butcher and Ray Quinn there, and best in the business when it has to come to response to motorcycle faults. So we'll have to just wait and see how Oisin is going to be supervised for the remainder of the day. But again, up and walking, which is the most important thing. So unfortunately we didn't see what happened into turn 3. Probably something we don't want to really see when a rider's hurt, but once he's up and walking, that's the most important factor. So we will have the original grid in place, and the race has been dropped from 6 laps, 1 warm-up and 6 laps, so that will be a change from what we were anticipating with 8 laps. So 6 laps, 1 warm-up and 6 laps. So no need to make any change, fuel loads or anything like that. It's all good. You see our response vehicles making a detour to come back into Park Ferma, give Oisin the once over, and hopefully release him quickly for see what his schedule for the remainder of the day will look like. Of course, he's got another Twins race on the cards, as well as another Supersport race, and doing so well in the championship. You don't really want to see any hold-ups for that, because he's progressing so well. So confirmation after that red flag in the warm-up lap that it will be 1 warm-up lap and 6 racing laps, so shortened by 2 laps. And our track is shortly going to become live. We will break for lunch then once the Supersport race is complete. And first up after lunch will be the eagerly anticipated first Superbike race of the afternoon. So first up after lunch will be the Principal Insurance Superbike race. And before we get underway again, we're actually going to take a look at that incident into turn 3, resulting in Oisin. So if our producer can just pop it up there, we can see it in a slow-mo. So here you can see Oisin tips in, and he's just come off there and flips, the bike flips. So I don't know whether there was contact on the entry into turn 3, not quite sure. He seemed to run straight on. It's very unusual. But good to see he's up and about anyway. But the bike certainly a bit second hand, and hopefully the team can get it repaired for the second race this afternoon in Supersport. Of course, Ernie Coates is in situ if you're running out of spares. We'll hopefully have some bits to get you going. Be a shame to end the weekend thus far. Yeah, that was quite an unusual incident on a warm-up lap. You are not quite travelling at race speeds, but you are trying to keep as much temperature into that front tyre and brakes as you would. But hopefully it looked less serious in the replay than it did. So we will be almost underway again any moment as our teams leave the circuit. You can see a very second-hand looking CBR 600RR AK Racing, but it's a rolling chassis, so something to work on, not too bad. And the break for lunch, of course, will come at an opportune time. And just confirmation from race control that wasn't warm-up lap, that was actually lap 1, so I'm not quite sure whether my timing screen is on the blink, but we will pay particular attention to the flags on the circuit next time out so that we don't get caught out. So that was a race, which explains why it's been dropped for 2 laps, because we had 1 lap already underway. So the revised race distance of 6 laps and 1 is 1 warm-up and 6 competitive laps, which warm-up lap is currently underway. As you can see, that's Emmett O'Grady leading the field around turn 4. Pick the bike up, then get on the gas for the entry into Lola, first right-hander of the international circuit. That's Lola corner there that you can see. Des McKessie, number 54, R6 Yamaha. Chasing pack, that looks like Michael Gillen on that yellow R6 321. And Jack Querty, cup rider, 267 on the Declan Madden R6 Yamaha. Cuts around 7A and 7B. And flip into that is Des McKessie again, number 54, on his privately owned machine. Sitting nicely on row 3, Des. You'll be very happy with that. Some great performances of late. As we see the rest of the field cut through Brand Benz. The front row of Emmett O'Grady and Des McKessie in row 3 are already into Southside Motor Factors, ready to get their start positions on the grid. So that will be a similar front row to this restarted race, similar to as it was before the red flag, with Kevin Keyes on pole position. Here's Michael Gillen, number 321 on that yellow R6. Here comes Jack Querty. There's Kevin Keyes, number 15 on the Darracor R6. Des McKessie is a quick look down. That's number 114, Alex O'Grady. 152, Gary Wright. I think Gary had a slip off yesterday, but is back on track. There's Brandon Kavanagh leading the Cup Championship, number 10, ZX6R. Number 39 is Andrew Weirty on the 675 Triumph. So all eyes on the lights now under M-Town Bridge. And we are underway for our first Principal Insurance Superbike race of today. And it's Kevin Keyes who makes a break. Jack Querty, cheeky little move under Emmett O'Grady to take P2 into turn 2 as they all vie for a position into turn 3. It is still Jack Querty. What a fantastic little start for Jack, the cup rider on the Declan Madden R6. But it's Kevin Keyes who leads initially as they come back from turn 3 into turn 4. Emmett O'Grady uses his wily experience to retake that second position on the remaining AK Racing CBR 600. But still Kevin Keyes with a comfortable lead into Lola corner. Michael Gillen leads the chasing pack for 4th position, but the lead for Kevin Keyes at the moment, and he's going to post the fastest lap when he comes around in a couple of minutes' time from Emmett O'Grady. Jack Querty 3rd in the Pro and leads the Cup battle from Brandon Kavanagh and Michael Gillen. Andrew Weirty, number 39, got a flyer on that 675R Triumph. He's not really competing in the 6th Supersport Championship, but just using it to get more track time for his Honda Fireblade in the Superbike Championship. Of course, he's been bumped from Cup to the Pro class. And the leaders are just back into view. And here comes Kevin Keyes to complete his first lap of 6, followed by Emmett O'Grady, Jack Weirty, Michael Gillen, Daniel Matheson. And Michael Gillen breaks into turn 1. Des McKessie just behind Andrew Weirty. Daniel Matheson pulls up a couple of positions for 5th. There's Michael Gillen dropping the bike into turn 3. Double apex, down, up, and back in again. As we see over the rise of turn 3 back into turn 4, Michael Wheelies the R6 Yamaha into turn 4. And then keeps the bike upright to the right-hand side of the circuit to get the drive into Lola. And Daniel Matheson being lined up for a pass by Andrew Weirty. We'll keep an eye on that battle. And that is the battle for 5th and 6th between Daniel Matheson and Andrew Weirty. Number 39, Andrew Weirty, on the Triumph machine. Daniel Matheson sits up at the very last minute, get the bike stopped. And they tip into Brands Bends. Almost 2 laps of 6 completed. The leaders are already coming down to start finish. Emmett O'Grady has dropped that gap of Kevin Keyes from 1.6 seconds down to 0.5 of a second. So a 1:43 flat for Emmett O'Grady last time out. And that's where that inroads were made towards that lead of Kevin Keyes. But Kevin still leads this race from Jack Queerty, Emmett O'Grady in second. As we watch turn 3, getting scalped by Kevin Keyes on the Darracor R6. And that's, the pit board is going to reflect to Kevin. He's good company. So let's see how Kevin reacts on this lap as they head out from turn 4 into Lola. Fastest lap of the race so far confirmed for Emmett O'Grady with 1:43.09. But I think Kevin has pulled the pin slightly. And he'll be cautiously into 7A and 7B. I think that's where he had the run off yesterday, costing him the victory. But he'll be anxious to capitalise on the fact that Oisin Maher hasn't started this race. Make sure he gets maximum points as we drop them into Brands Bends. Nip and tuck at the moment between O'Grady and Kevin Keyes. Let's see where these bikes differ. 2 inline 4 Jap Supersport bikes, so there'll be similar performance. I know Emmett likes to run up on the inside into Southside Motor Factor, so doesn't quite have a look this time out. No need to go just yet, because we're only approaching half race distance to complete 3 of this 6 laps. We'll keep an eye on the lap times this time. We'd expect Kevin in the 1:43s. Kevin Keyes is missing, so it looks as though we've lost Kevin again. You see, he's come in the back. He's come in the back gate. He's a retirement, so looks like a huge mechanical for Kevin. It's really not his weekend for Supersport, and that's handed the opportunity to Emmett O'Grady. So unfortunately, Kevin Keyes is a retirement. That is going to put a dent in his title hopes, with Oisin Maher not starting this race either. Unfortunate for Kevin, the Eden Derry rider, really disappointed. So they've got a lot of work to do to see if there's a mechanical. It seems to be hobbling somewhat, Kevin, so perhaps something wrong with Kevin himself as opposed to the machine, but he really does not look comfortable as he walks back into the garage. So I wish him well, hoping it's nothing too serious. But either way, that is a country mile of a gap for Emmett O'Grady at the minute, and that throws the contention for the remainder of the podium out the window. So let's see where that's going to leave us, because Emmett O'Grady will be coming back into Southside Motor Factors any moment now, and we will watch what the battle for the remaining podium positions are between Cup and Pro. Jack Weirty was sitting nicely, as was Michael Gillen and Andrew Weirty, Daniel Matheson. The 3-way tie, as you can see, coming into Southside Motor Factory. Michael Gillen went extremely wide there, which means he'll cut it tight out of that corner. So it's a battle between Weirty and Gillen at the moment. Jack Weirty confirmed as running second on the road. So a potential podium here for Andrew Weirty and Michael Gillen, who's running in the Cup. I'm sure Andrew Weirdy wouldn't have expected that when he wheeled a 675 Triumph out of the garage this morning. But he'll be quite happy either way. So currently, with the retirement from Kevin Keyes, it's Emmet O'Grady who leads on lap 4 from Jack Weirdy and Andrew Weirdy. Michael Gillen is 4th, Daniel Matheson 5th, Brandon Kavanagh 6th, Des McKessie 7th, 8th Gary Riley, 9th Alex O'Grady. Alex Pender is up into 10th from the back of the grid. Fantastic from Alex Pender, from Albert Pender. As we watch the riders dip into Lola, the next time they come around they will be shown the last lap flag. But currently it is Andrew Weirdy who leads into 7A and 7B from Michael Gillen. That's Michael Gillen on the 321 yellow R6, being hunted down by Daniel Matheson. Maybe Daniel Matheson fancies a pop on the podium. But for the moment, it's Emmet O'Grady from Jack Weirdy and Andrew Weirdy. Andrew Weirdy has broken away from Michael Gillen. And we can see Emmet O'Grady into Southside Motor Factors, where he will be picking up the last lap flag. And he'll be wondering what's going on behind him to have an uncontested lead within this Supersport race. We're expecting a tighter battle, but we didn't see the retirement of Kevin Keyes. We certainly didn't see Oisin Maher running out on that third 3 incident. But we have 1 lap left for change perhaps within the podium. At the moment, Emmet O'Grady has a 7-second advantage and would have been aware of that from the pit board. But Jack Weirdy in the Cup class will win his Cup race and stand on a podium. Number 267. Andrew Weirdy still in 3rd as we watch the riders drop into turn 4. It's Andrew Weirdy from Michael Gillen, and that's Daniel Matheson, number 515 on the LR R6 Yamaha. The riders disappear along left-hander before they drop into 7A and 7B for the final time. Daniel Matheson a little bit too far back now, I think, to mount any sort of a challenge. But that's Emmet O'Grady who will gingerly tip into Baran's Bends for the last time and gracefully coast around Devaney's. Has a little look over his shoulder, nowhere anywhere next to him. Has a little celebratory wheelie out of Devaney's into Nordic Spirit. And this will be a win for the Tralee man. Almost free wheels around Southside Motor Factors. And a nice celebratory wheelie for the team who pick up a win in the Supersport, Principal Insurance Supersport race. And a fantastic ride from Jack Weirdy to take a well-earned podium and a win in the Supersport Cup. Andrew Weirdy confirmed 3rd on a podium. Michael Gillen will take the Supersport Cup 2nd place. Daniel Matheson 5th. Brandon Kavanagh completes the Supersport Cup podium in 3rd, number 10. Des McKessie 7th. Gary Riley 8th. Alex O'Grady 9th. Albert Pender, brilliant 10th position from the back of the grid. 11th place, Keelan Smith. James Walsh is 12th. Ronan Cosgrave 13th. David Duffy in confirmation of our result here. Well, what a quite unexpected race result that was. Did not see that coming. And confirmation with that graphic of our Supersport positions. And any moment now we will have podium presentations from Fergus, but at the moment we'll just have a look at that Supersport. Jack Weirdy again, what a magnificent performance, and namesake Andrew as well, also on the podium. Wasn't expecting that when we spoke earlier on about using the Triumph as a tool to pick up more pace and get more miles on the international circuit so that he could get his Honda Fireblade dialed in for the Superbike race, but made a really good effort from that. So we will break for lunch after this podium celebration, so we'll hand it over to Fergus Brennan.
Thanks, Andy. So that's the first of our Principal Insurance Supersport races of the day done, second one of the weekend. Unfortunately, we had a few riders, of the top riders, drop out there, but still a great win there for Emmett O'Grady overall and for Jack Werty in the Cup. So we're going to do the Cup presentation as usual first, and we have Mary from Principal is going to present all the awards for us from Principal Insurance, our overall championship sponsor and also title sponsor of the Superbike and Superboard classes. So in third place in the Cup, it's Brandon Kavanagh. So Brandon can make his way up there, please. And then we're looking for Michael Gillen, both of whom have been Cup winners this year, but on the podium once again. But behind that man, Jack Werty, who was up there in second place overall. So get up here, Jack. Well done to Jack. Mary's going to present the awards to them now. And to Jack, and then we'll get a word with him, and Mary will be back in a second then. Don't go away to do our overall. Geez, you look a bit tired and worn out there. It was a hard work in that heat.
Yeah, it's warm out there, to be fair. I made a little change before the race and it didn't really work out once I pushed on a little bit. There's no excuse really. Jack is flying as well, Mick is flying, so see what we can do in the last one.
Is that a bit of a problem caused by not using the international track that often at the moment?
Yeah, I think like 4 months being off it is a long time, especially a race pace, but here the lads are doing the pace, so there's no reason why I shouldn't be either. So.
Well, you've got another goal to get it right.
Yeah, I give it a good goal later on, now we'll see.
Okay, well done, Brandon. Michael, you have been on the top step, but I'm sure you're happy still to be back up here in second place.
Yeah, on Friday on the test day I was having awful issues trying to get the bike set up. It was set up well on the national track, but when it came onto the international track it wouldn't turn or anything, so I spent a lot of time testing and I got it yesterday in the first race, just in time.
So you must have it pretty well sorted, because you were battling quite hard there with Andrew Werty and a couple of others.
Yeah, I was, yeah. The bike's still not there yet, but it's very close. I can get it a bit better now, so I'll be well happy with that.
Okay, well done, Michael. We're not going to talk to Jack because Jack's going to step to one side for a second. He's got another podium to do because he's also second overall, so he's got to pick up a trophy for that. So Jack, if you step to one side there, he's moving over to the second place. We'll get to his trophy in a second. So we're going to then call up the top three in Supersport overall. Just got to throw the trophies up on the podium first. So, third overall, and from the same garage as Jack here, we have Andrew Werty. Well done to Andrew. It's only his second weekend on the Supersport bike. Normally we see him in Superbike Cup, and now this year in Superbike overall. Second place, Jack Werty already up here, well done. Great to see a Cup rider up on the overall podium. And then Emmett O'Grady, our winner. Big advantage for Emmett in the championship there with his other two top rivals dropping out. So we'll have a word with him about how he feels with that. We'll just let Mary hand over the trophies to Andrew first. Jack to get his second trophy from the race, and Emmett to get his winner's trophy. So well done, and thanks very much to Mary from Principal, our overall sponsors. Andrew, you're only going out on this bike for a bit of crack. I don't think you were expecting to be on the podium, were you?
No, well, that was initially just a second bike to get a bit more time on the track, and I didn't really think I'd get a podium on it, so happy out with that, like, you know.
And you had a hard enough battle with Michael Gillen. You were behind him for a long time.
Yeah, I was getting it hard to get by him and had to make a couple of lunges, and luckily enough they stuck, but once I got by, I just sort of put the head down and just kept going, you know. But I want to say big thanks to all the lads there in the garage helping out all weekend, and it's been good, so hopefully the next time we'll get another go.
That's down in the DM Groundworks garage.
Yeah, down in there, the boss's garage there, yeah.
The boss is watching on there. We'll go across to Jack, sponsored by Declan Madden, who also sponsors our junior classes. Jack, you're going great guns in the Cup, but now in the overall races as well.
Yeah, I'm happy out, Fergus. I didn't expect to be even anywhere near the podium on the Cup this year, let alone the pros. So we snuck in 1 or 2 pro podiums this year. I know, unfortunately, events Ushin fell off earlier and Kevin had mechanical issue. But look, we're here, try and get as much experience as you can.
Well, to be up here, you have to finish, so you can't knock it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, the bike's going and just kind of steady away on it now. I know what I have to do. I'm still in the cup, so I can't get too ahead of myself either. So enjoying the bike. The bike's in. I feel good on it too, so it's planted. So
well done, Jack. Fantastic performance. Emmett, hop down there. You were catching Kevin, putting in some very strong laps there. The Honda seems to suit the international track.
It does, to be fair. It's our first weekend, as I was saying earlier on the new bike. It's still chipping away bit by bit. We'd done a gearing change which suited it. To be fair, just a lot of corner speed and having to carry on it. Was catching Kevin, to be fair. Jack's starts are unbelievable, and trying to get by him in the first lap without overcommitting is a bit of a challenge, but chipped away, got back up to Kevin, and I presume Kevin had some kind of mechanical, so it was just right.
Yeah, he didn't finish.
Yeah, right to my head, and just kind of maintain it, not burn the tyre up for the second race this evening, and just big gap in the championship, take it home.
And we'll be expecting more competition in the next one, hopefully with Oisin back after his off, and Kevin. I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, ding dong. I suppose it's not yet a case of where I can play it safe. I still have to go out and attack the lads, and I suppose that's what makes good Supersport racing. So we'll see how it goes next one.
Okay, well done to our top three overall in the first of our Principal Insurance Superbike races. Andrew Werty, Jack Werty and Emmett O'Grady. We're going to take a lunch break now, and we'll be back to live stream. We'll go off now until we return with the first of our Principal Insurance Superbike races in approximately an hour. The Masters Superbike Championship is brought to you by Principal Insurance, part of Howden. For motorbike, car, van and home insurance, Principal Insurance have you covered. Get a quote today. The Masters Superbike Championship is brought to you by Principal Insurance, part of Howden. For motorbike, car, van and home insurance, Principal Insurance have you covered. Get a quote today.